Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this afternoon, this morning, wherever you're listening to this. Today, we are continuing on with our ongoing campaign, playing Pathfinder First Edition's very cool Iron Gods Adventure Path. And we are playing that using Paizo Publishing's First Edition Pathfinder game. And with me this morning to brave the threats of Numeria and take up arms against the Iron Gods are the stars of this campaign. And guys, I'll go in the order I've got you left to right on the screen here. First up, we've got Isaac. Who are you and who are you playing?
Yes, I am Isaac Zephyr, playing the blind prophet who leads the blind undeniably at this point.
Nice. And next up is Brandon.
I'm Brandon. I'm playing Algar Blood of Chrome. I am a blood rager with a nanite bloodline and looking forward to killing some things.
Pretty badass. Next up is Arlen.
Hi, I'm playing Vortimer. I'm an android slayer, and I now have cold iron arrows, so when I shoot some gremlins or Jenkins, we'll do some real damage.
Nice. And next up is John.
Yep. I'm playing Kyrus, the human Kelid Bardbarian. I'm a skald. I'm here for moral and physical support. We're
Nice.
Gremlins.
Moral support. Attaboy. I'll take a standard action to do attaboy. And last but certainly not least is Jamie.
Yeah, so I'm Jamie. I'll be playing Gunther Scarred Face, who's a half-orc, half-Kelid gunslinger and aspiring Alkenstar shield marshal.
Nice. All right. So last session, we had some events happen. Oh, what
I had a quote I wanted to share.
Oh, yes,
not the one that I sent to everybody, but so another one that I read.
As is customary for our Saturday morning sessions, we are going to start off with a little bit of culture for those. A little bit
of culture.
And
yeah.
Out of curiosity, a culture vulture is a CR3 creature. So go ahead, Alan.
For such breakings away and dissolving of comradeship and token of division are cause of great anguish when men sense how they stand so perilous and transitory in this world. That is from In Parenthesis by David Jones, which is perhaps the finest book to come out of the First World War. He says, fully aware of just how extreme that statement is. But I thought it was beautiful and thought I would share it with you guys.
Nice. Well, thanks. Excellent. So,
you.
Having been edified by Arlen's contribution, let's turn to the more base matter of what the fuck happened last session. Who wants to tell us what happened last session?
So many people disappeared, and the last group that was sent on had my good old mentor Connor, and I was not happy. Not happy at all, especially because he took Gerald with him of all people.
They haven't gone yet.
They haven't gone yet, I don't think. I think they're preparing to leave in the morning, and we are at the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can still sabotage their attempts to leave.
We could put our grappling rules to use.
Yeah.
I hide you in the basement for your own good.
Okay.
In all seriousness, I'm not opposed to that course of action, to be honest. But
well, we could at least talk to them. Say, hey, Connor, before you go down there yourself, maybe you should send another group.
Yeah.
Replace them in the morning.
Two different groups have ventured into the Crowfoot Pond.
Yeah.
And or the Weeping Pond. And neither has returned.
The halflings and then the group that Kyrus's buddy was part of.
I was going to say that contained Kyrus's girlfriend.
Poor Parda.
Girlfriend's a strong word.
Poor Parda. You say it like she's gone forever.
Well,
we don't know what happened.
I'll find the dagger
one of the songs that I can,
That was more of a random encounter than a relationship. Playing to the crowd here.
That's all how they start.
All right. So what our scene opens with is a small crowd right next to the Crowfoot Palace. We see the Weeping Pond stretching out with that disgusting kind of oily slick or sheen that kind of reflects off the surface of it. And we've seen this scene before because we've seen this happen when the halflings went down there. We've seen this when those Parda and her colleagues went down there. But this time, there is two significant differences. One of them is that the crowd is a lot smaller. There's where before it really did seem like the vast majority of people who could get away from their business or whatever else, they made their way down here to see the party go under. This is maybe about like 30 people now. The other significant difference is who we see at the edge and making their way down to venture under the surface of the Weeping Pond. And that is because we see our 5 assembled heroes. So you guys have got all whatever equipment that you needed to pick up. You've got the Joram Kite there, who is preparing to cast something on you. And we see Dolga Fredert, that crotchety old... I mean, not crotchety, she's just stern. The stern old dwarven woman who sits on the Torchtown Council. The Dolga says, well, you understand the situation then.
To us or to Connor?
I'm a character who's fully aware that they're in a movie, and it's like, wait a minute, where did the scene go? I thought we were watching comic.
Hold on, did you take the feat break fourth wall? Because otherwise, no.
Did we just have a time skip?
Well, I am a diviner wizard.
Well enough.
Yeah.
So you understand the situation?
I understand that you're paying us.
How much are we getting paid?
A lot.
If you get back.
Just for the sake of argument, let's go over the situation again.
Yes.
She looks and sort of kind of sloughs that off as your android attempt at humor. And very well. And she turns and nods to Joram. Joram, gestures and speaks in a in another kind of language. Does anyone speak Celestial?
No.
Wait, maybe.
No.
No. So he speaks in a language that sounds like, it sounds that it has elements of like harp and bells in it. There are small glowing cogs that appear around as he completes the spell, and each of you has a flash of kind of glowing dust that flares off you and then goes down. And he says there, very well, you have, and one sec, I should have looked this up beforehand. I'll just mention again how much I enjoy these the pocket versions.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even look at.
They're beautiful.
Holy shit, they're so great.
They're beautiful just because they don't take up so much room in my backpack.
Oh, totally. And even like for me, I keep a stack of books next to my bed, and this is a less precarious stack than
I had to start keeping them on a tablet just because it was too heavy to carry most of the ones that I need, because I've started making characters that use like 4 or 5 books simultaneously, and I'm just like, I need just this for my character.
Okay, so this will be, you have half a day.
All right.
Make good use of your time. This is, as a reminder, Joram Kite is played by Ian Holm in the film version of our campaign. So
half a day, are we talking 6 hours or 8 hours?
Half a day.
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
So you all kind of turn and look at each other a little uncertain and start slowly making your way down into the Weeping Pond.
I put on a brave face like, we got this.
Nice. The screen, we kind of, the camera pans up into the overcast sky that hangs over Numeria. And then we see in black lettering, 5 days earlier, and pans back down. And we see all of you waking up the morning after. We see you guys as collected around with Joram and Geralt Sonder and the other members of his crew that are heading down. We see the exact same scene play out with Dolga is there as well, talking to Connor. And we see the Joram again cast his spell on the collected party, and they begin heading down. Now, I unfortunately, Prophet, you really can't see what's necessarily going on here, but you have had, you can kind of flash back to a scene where Connor made it clear to you that it was important that you all stay behind. This is something that is you've come far in your studies. You've learned a great deal, but this is there are horrors that lurk in this land that I would have you never learn of, and this is having lost 2 groups so far. We don't want to see any further. I want to have the best chance of succeeding at this. And you realize that what the sort of subtext there is that he doesn't want to, risk you in the same way that he's not sending, what's her name?
Val.
The other,
Val.
yeah, Val down as well.
Mhm.
So we're back at the edge of the thing, and you guys can see they head out into the water and down they go. I need to make a quick roll to see who is going to get space herpes. No, I mean potentially have the same adverse effect that Arlen had, or not Arlen, but Vortimer.
Man, space herpes sounded like so much fun.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Kyrus might already be suffering.
I thought I already had it. Maybe.
I
Can't remember.
believe that's a minor action to grab low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, if you recall, my fortitude or constitution checks were very good.
Yeah, they were, yeah. That's right.
You don't
The
need this for me.
unprompted constitution checks. Oh, it's hilarious. Okay. Where is it? There we go. Okay. This is the roll for Prophet.
Oh, yay.
This is the roll for Algar. Oh, no!
I thought
Oh, no!
Oh no! Okay.
Algar!
Yay.
That's okay.
Herpes.
I maybe should learn how to read the tens digit on a percentile dice. Yeah, I rolled that backwards. Vortimer, let's
Okay.
see. No. And Kyrus. You're fine. And then finally, Gunthar. So the day passes, or at least the morning comes without any kind of symptoms. So what do you guys like? What's kind of going through your minds here as you're seeing the party sort of go underneath? You've heard as well, I think, that I can't remember. Did Vortimer actually tell people about his headaches apart from Joram?
No?
I think
I don't remember that.
I don't think he told any of the group, although he did talk to Joram about it while Gunther and Algar were there. At least Gunther.
Okay.
However many of us were there to buy the wand because
Oh, that was
So-
me.
The two most taciturn characters are the ones. Well, then, I think Kyrus, you are certainly a more chatty Cathy of those other two.
Mhm.
So you've heard, like, it seems like there's a section or a percentage of town that seems to be developing these headaches. Every morning people are feeling shitty, and unfortunately, so Joram is trying to deal with that and sort out what's going on.
I blame it on drinking too much. They just don't know how to hold their liquor.
Yeah, well, it's a mixture of from like young to old. Like, there's no rhyme or reason as to why people are manifesting this.
Who's giving the kids the booze? That's just wrong.
Yeah. There's an easy way to fix it. It's like the reverse. You'll be the anti-Footloose. You're the anti-Kevin Bacon. This town needs to stop drinking. So the day. So, what do you guys think you're going to do with your day then? Like, I imagine that there's not like a quest or something like that you guys have to do. But what would you be filling your day with otherwise?
I'll
Back
probably
to
be
the
trying to
scrapyard
work at
for
the
some of you
Crowfoot
guys?
Palace.
Sorry, what was that?
I'll be trying to work at the Crowfoot Palace just to keep my mind off the fact that Connor isn't around. And I mean,
Sure.
the better part of my person would be, make sure Val's okay, but 6 charisma says I'd be really bad at saying that because I'm not okay.
Sure.
So I'm just avoiding like everybody.
Well, I think, even if you're not great at it, in the same way that, like, shitty parents who try still are loved by their kids, I think that you would still like Val still would have a connection with it, even though you don't seem to get along with anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, that would still be a source of relief for her. But okay, so you're working on that. What about Algar? What do we see him doing throughout the day?
I assume it's something back at just if there's work that needs to be done at the junkyard, since its proprietor is kind of like not.
Yep.
Yeah. Trying to keep his mind occupied. Occasionally pokes his head in the gremlin hole to make sure nothing's coming out. But,
Sure.
Yeah.
You guys sealed that, didn't you?
Oh, did we?
Well, we put a
We
bunch
lit
of
it on
stuff on
fire.
there, and then we threw stuff in
Oh, that's
there.
right. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
So that's
all right.
okay. So that's sealed up. And what about Vortimer? What's he doing?
I think he is probably just walking around and trying to be friendly since everybody is off work and stuff. He's, saying hi to the Smiths and how are you?
Yeah.
Good day. And can't tell that nobody wants to talk to him.
Oh God, what's the quote from Blade Runner when he comes around the eyes? I'm so glad you're our friend. What about Kairos? What's he doing?
Well, considering Ragnar's holed up because of his legs, I'd probably be helping with the scrapyard too. But in my free time, and since I got complete confidence in Connor, I'll probably go around the taverns and try to raise some spirits with my perform skill and encourage people to drink more.
Okay. So that sounds good. I mean, you do know that the Silver Disc Hall is certainly trying to sell a lot of liquor. But Val has actually been, and at Connor's instructions, has been watering down things because, idle smiths with nothing to do but, worry, adding liquor to that mix is not great. And in fact, I imagine that. Well, go ahead.
That may be part of the problem, though, if they're getting water from the tainted pond.
The Crowfoot Palace is still working.
Crowfoot Palace is still working, but there's something weird in there, even still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about Gunther? What's he doing?
Gunther's back at the junkyard, just business as usual for the day. Lugging stuff around, moving whatever needs to be moved, checking on Mange, seeing if he's gotten any better, how his wounds are doing.
Oh yeah, he's tough as old shoe leather, right? So he or tough as a nickel steak, as my buddy says. So he just he's got more scars on him, but I mean he had scars on him before, and he's still kind of following you guys around. One thing that
Gunther will find like some bones or something he can chew on, maybe a goblin plushie from the junkyard or something.
Goblin plushie available at the location. Sandville Tret will have one for you. He's an authorized Paizo dealer, I think. And as a non sequitur, what the fuck is with them not having a Skittermander plushie?
Who knows? Maybe they'll make one.
That is just the lowest of low hanging fruit. Give me my fucking plushie.
Oh man, little arms.
Exactly, and on the little monster in the belly button. It's so horrific and cute at the same time. Anyway, okay, so the day, passes uneventfully, but I imagine fairly tensely for many of you. The sun, passes low into the western horizon and then actually disappears, and no Connor.
So he can take care of himself.
Okay, and where would you guys have? Are you guys all meeting up at the Foundry Tavern again?
Yep.
Good place to
I
go.
think so.
Okay, so
That's
you're there when and it's probably about maybe 7 o'clock or so, and that's when the door sort of bursts open and you see Geralt and some of the other guys come in.
Right,
and
didn't Geralt go on the mission?
He did. Geralt made he was trying to make money for his sweetie for
Amelia Otterby.
Yeah, Amelia. And he what do you call it? He seems they seem fairly boisterous. Some of them look a little bloodied, but they seem like they're it was a success. Connor is not among them though.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys do? If anything.
I asked them why the torch isn't back on.
They sort of say look, Connor told us we can't talk about it. It's a problem we're working out.
Where's Connor?
He went to his shop.
All right, the first thing I do is go to his shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
So
I
you guys-
get like I hear that and I get up and go.
Okay. So you guys make your way over there, and then he's leaving, and you guys are sort of on your way over there, and maybe we can take a look at the map to show you what this is looked like. Because when Connor attacks you, I want to make sure we've got the tactical map ready. I mean, yeah, this is making it a surprise for those of you who have played through the adventure before. New villain. Okay, so
Connor hit me with a stick. Why? Why did you do this, Daddy?
so let's see. Who am I missing here? We've got Prophet, we've got Algar, we've got Kyrus, we've got Vortimer. Oh, we don't have Gunthar. Gunthar, where have you gone? Where have you gone? Hopefully I didn't erase your token because I don't want to. Well, I can recreate it. No problem.
I had my computer. I'd be making nice round tokens with the cool borders. I used to do it all the time.
I actually don't like the round ones because they remind me of those cheap ass paper ones that you got in older D&D products.
Mm-hmm.
I could always do a different shape in Photoshop. I used to do it all the time for my campaigns.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's see here. Boom. So Gunthar, there you are. You're back. You're back, baby.
I'm back.
Here we go. Hit points. Boom. And okay, can you guys all see Gunthar's health bar now?
Yeah, and he's even got a name unlike the rest of us.
Oh yeah,
So
right. No, because it takes up too much damn room. I did. This is a non sequitur, but in my Barrowmaze campaign, I did not think ahead to the size that the tokens would be, and I had this Barrowmaze is massive fucking dungeon. It's this huge thing that takes up like 4 or 5 pages. So I just took the whole thing and then fit it into my a manageable size in Roll20, which means that the tokens end up being these teeny tiny little things, and if you put like a bar over it, it suddenly seems enormous by comparison.
Yeah.
So we can't really track health or track names or anything like that in it. Okay, so that you guys are all there. You go racing out the door over here. Boom. Oh, wait, hold on. You don't have sight. This is one thing I wish they would update in the, what do you call it? In one of the updates for Roll20 is the having tokens automatically having sight. I don't understand the utility in them defaulting to not having sight.
I was gonna say I've got sight.
Yeah, you guys all do because I set it for you guys. But for some reason, the default is always you have to click on to give sight. So if you're using dynamic lighting, the tokens by default can't see anything. Anyway,
You could just be cheap like me and not pay for the dynamic lighting.
also, like, really, if this is the extent of my problems in my life, like, I really genuinely need to do some self-reflection. Damn you, dynamic lighting, making me tick one thing. Okay, so you guys are sort of all rushing out the door, and that's when you see him walking out with some other nameless laborer, and he sees you guys and kind of like puts his hand up, and he's like, all right, we're fine.
Hi, Connor. How
Hi,
was your
Vortimer.
trip?
It was eventful. I'm sorry, I don't really have time to discuss things. I need to meet with the council, and we need to make plans for further expeditions.
Oh.
He kind of as he's walking by, he puts his hand on your in light of the news about fucking Joe Biden this week. I don't mean to make this once again. It's timely. Connor seems to be the epicenter of like shitty guy news timing because he was Liam Neeson before, and now he's touching women without them asking. But he does actually, he puts his hand on your shoulder, Prophet, and kind of like gives you a small little squeeze on the shoulder, and then he goes on to let you know that he's okay.
Yeah,
and then he heads off otherwise to do something. And the last thing he says is, Prophet, stay out of the workshop. And keep Val away from it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prophet's first thing she wants to do is go in the workshop, but no, she will resist.
Yeah.
First thing I do is once Connor's out of sight, I put my hands on my head and say, "Well, I never doubted him for a second." Ha 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 ha.
Nice. Okay, so it does seem like they made their way back. What do you unless there's something you guys want to try and do tonight? Gunther, you've got a pretty close relationship with Geralt, but even then, I think he's still going to be fairly tight-lipped about what happened if you were to pry. Although I don't know, I mean, from the way that you've been playing Gunther, he doesn't strike me as the nosy type.
He's not at all. He very much just kind of keeps to himself, and he he just stays observant.
Sure. So I think that him and maybe like Geralt does have like at some point once the guys have finished talking, he does kind of join you to just shoot the shit about whatever stuff you guys talk about. Gladiator team from Hadroth Hakados. Or the stable, I should say, the gladiator stable that fights down there. He tells you about, did you know that they managed to get something? It's looks a little bit like a knoll, but it's furrier. Big thing. Your team is, there's no way they're going to be able to face that.
Sounds dangerous. Well, I didn't expect you to make it back. Congratulations. Don't suppose you need me to hold on to this anymore. Slide the flux capacitor back over to him. Kept it safe for you, just like I said I would.
Oh, his eyes. He's like, no. He says that's, we might be going back down. So maybe just hang on to it for now. But thanks, Gunther. I suppose you want rent paid for it. And he kind of looks over at Val and gestures, and he buys you a beer.
Well, no rent necessary between friends.
Okay. So the evening otherwise
you escaped the dance with the devil once already, so what's your hurry to head back in?
It's just the pay, and he gets this kind of like his eyes are almost dancing, like he seems really excited about something. And he says, I just can't talk about it, but I think this means good things for me and for Amelia.
I understand. Gunther nods and drinks his beer.
Nice. Okay, so otherwise the evening passes uneventfully. You guys have your drinks and whatever. The one eventful thing that will be happening tomorrow is that Ragnar is able to come home. Yeah, he's not able to get back to work, but he will be back in the kind of like lumbering around the yard. Though there's not really a lot of scrap coming in at this point. So, it's really going to be a matter of like, we've had these jobs, planned for quite some time. We're going to get to them now. And so then that is the end of the third day.
Yeah,
since the torch has gone out.
Yeah, I'm secretly curious about what's in the shop. I'm trying to make excuses to get in there tomorrow.
Okay. So let's, the morning the next day, let's check in on everyone's health as well. So Prophet, you're okay. Algar, very close, but you're okay. Oh no.
You're okay.
Vortimer.
Again.
What are the chances? The chances are pretty slim. You're not affected. Kairos, not affected. Gunther, did you overindulge? Was that one too many beers? No.
Oh, dang, it's not in the water in the beer. Dang it.
I was going to say, if I ever get it, I don't even drink the beer, so.
The fourth day after, since the torch has gone out, has comes, and there's the level of anxiety is actually oddly a little higher now that one of the expeditions has come back. Now that the expedition has come back and the torch is still not out, there is a similar kind of like rabble, scene at the town council where the people are trying to to get some kind of answer from the council members. What has happened in the interim is it seems that Joram, when it first went out, Joram sent out a missive to the Hadroth Hakados, and there is a group of out-of-towners who are all worshippers, all devotees of Bri. and they will be making an expedition down. They're the next one that's going to go down. They arrived the night before. No one really knew that had happened because they stayed at the Joram's church, and they basically showed up and are ready to go down. So there's yet another. We see the same scene repeat itself. Joram casts the same spell on them, and these people go under. They have in 1 second here. The things that particularly stand out about this group of humans. It's all humans. Because I don't know why.
Racist.
Yeah, because I'm racist, apparently.
No, Bree's racist. She only has human clerics for some reason.
The thing that really kind of stands out is this brilliant glowing hammer that the lead seems to have. They're not all clerics. Like there's a cleric in their party. There's a paladin in their party. There is a warrior of some kind. You're not sure if it's a barbarian or whatever else. But all of them have the same cogs, the kind of intricate design or the intricate designed face that is the holy symbol of Bri, the goddess of clockwork goddess. And she this group heads under. You're a little surprised. I mean, that there was no mention made of this before the kind of that they went under, and that's sort of what the topic is at this town meeting. This is after the most recent group has gone under the Weeping Pond, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Do any of you guys think you would have attended the town meeting as well, or would you have busied yourself with, I mean, for those of you, for Algar, Kyrus, and Gunthar, now that Ragnar's back, holy shit, does he have a list? He's had like 4 days to dream up shit that you guys should be doing.
I'm sure he does. If there's time to sneak away between chores, Gunther would like to poke his head in just to stay informed with what's going on.
Yeah.
Is there a
so you can kind of picture the scene of Ragnar's wandering around on this big, heavy, cane that's made out of like plastic and refab metal, and Gunther, where are you?
Well, I cover for him as much as I can. Just
okay, cool.
Because I'm a busybody. I want to know what's going on, and I can distract Ragnar better than most people.
Sure.
Do
you have any training in stealth?
That's me.
I think we've got a little bit of stealth training here.
I have a massive penalty for being blind. Does that count?
No. Bump.
Can you see me?
We promised at the outset we wouldn't make blind people bumping into shit jokes, but that seems kind
He's
of.
got a +3. Not huge.
+3, sure. Why don't you do this? I'm going to give you +2 from Aid Another from Kyrus. Give me a stealth check. Let's just see how the scene plays out.
Okay. How do you add a modifier when you roll?
No.
It should prompt for.
Okay.
Let me see if it prompts for. If it doesn't, I just need to. Oh, it did. Okay, great. It just needs to toggle something for you. 10. Okay. I know passive perception is not a thing in Pathfinder, but I'm going to use that as the basis. I think that he probably does see you. You know what? But he's slower than you are. So if you give me a good description of sort of like what sort of way you usually use to sort of escape your duties, like is there like a specific pile of trash that you've got at one point that you can scramble up and then hop over to get around the walls around the junkyard?
Well, Gunther knows that there are more remote areas of the junkyard that if he volunteers to take some things out there, that he can kind of kill time by escaping once he makes it to the outer edges and sneak away to wherever he needs to go. Like normally if he's trying to find time between the stacks, he'll volunteer to, I'll take this advantage. I'm out to the stacks over here, and heads out to the northeast stacks or what have you. And then he knows when he's far enough out that he can slip away and do what he needs to do for a little while, but not too long because he does want to take care of his chores.
Okay. What about anyone else? The Algar, are you just working in the scrapyard, or are you trying to get away as well? Oh, you might be muted. You might be muted there, Brandon.
There. Okay. Now can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have ranks in don't have any ranks in stealth. So I assume Algar's method of trying to duck out, which he very much wants to do, is just like, he kind of walks around and talks to himself every now and then. I think people who work with him will probably have noticed this.
Yeah.
And he just kind of his thing is to pretend he's kind of in like a little bit of a head fog as he's like walking out absentmindedly, and then perhaps if he gets noticed, he just rubs off like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was distracted. Like, I was deep in thought." But
is it Shaggy that you talk to?
No, it's my nanites.
Oh, your nanites.
Although nobody really knows that, but it's I mean they see that he has these conversations sometimes with himself, and so he just kind of passes off that he's I was deep in thought or conversation, but I assume Ragnar, has probably stopped him from leaving, but
give me a bluff.
Driving.
Why don't you give me a bluff check?
A bluff check?
I'll give you a +2 to it as well.
Okay.
Let's see what the dice tell us.
All right, let's see. One moment. Bluff. Well, I do have decently high charisma. Let's see if that works.
Oh, yeah. Big money. And
There we go.
No.
Oh, so you're adding a modifier. You just put the number, not the plus.
Oh, okay.
For whatever reason, if you put a plus in it.
So that's an 8.
Yeah, so that's an 8 in total. Okay.
No.
Okay. So basically, what you guys see is Kairos is trying to, cause a distraction for you to try and benefit you guys. Algar, you're sort of wandering off. Gunthar's like, I'm going to go work in the far part of this, and Ragnar's standing there, on his leaning on his cane. And as a reminder, in our movie version of this, he is played by Ray Winston with lots of makeup on, and he kind of looks at you guys. You think I'm stupid?
I was like, no, I think you can be bribed, and I hold out a flask to him.
I know you don't want to be just carrying this stuff all the time. I know what you did about the gremlins. I heard about that. It's fool work if you ask me. But if you're trying to carry on like that, only way you're going to get that work is from the council. Go on, we'll take care of this.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh, I can't wait to kill Ragnar. This is going to be so
Take that, kobold snipers invade the junkyard. He didn't stand a chance.
All right, so Gunther and Algar are going off, and Kairos, you're kind of standing there, pacing back and forth. He's like, well,
I'm staying here and helping you.
Well, then get to work then.
Okay.
You got 3 people's tasks that need to get done. Go on. So
I whistle from Paige and I start working.
So you guys head off. Vortimer and Prophet, would you be going to the meeting as well?
Yeah.
So I think Vortimer is going to follow the crowd, just sort of go along with the flow. Is there like a hand sign or something that followers of Bree do, like crossing themselves, essentially?
Do you have any training in religion?
I do not have any training in religion. I'm just apparently, since I'm an android, I'm a follower of a sort of apostate of Bree.
Oh, if you're actually, if you're, is your character a follower of devotee of Bry?
Bry? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Bry? Yes.
I'm a follower of Brie. I love myself some soft cheese.
Yeah, a follower of Bry. Yes, I have that written on my character sheet. And I've been sort of friendly. Well, I haven't been that friendly with Jerome Kite, but I've been sort of friendly with him.
Okay, so then you would know sort of the the whatever the benediction would be for Bry. Actually, give me 1 sec here. The second adventure path has a whole bunch of stuff about the worship of Bry.
I always loved, like, oh God, which one was it? I think it was Shards of Sin.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like all these statues you're allowed to pray to around town, but like some of the information of it isn't even until the 6th book, which is like, by then you're so far away from that town, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
in Magnamar. Yeah.
Okay, so here's some of the, just so you can make use of these. These are some of the aphorisms that the followers of Bry have. Invention is immortality. Many followers of Bri are so devoted to their craft that they cannot maintain a family and never have children. The church teaches that for such people, their inventions are their children, their work is their legacy, and allowing others to learn and use their discoveries is as good as passing on a family name. This aphorism is a rebuttal against criticism for their monomania. In the eyes of their church, some people are meant to have children, while others are meant to discover how to turn iron into steel or invent a spring that can't be overwound. So maybe your scrimshandering is something to do with
I was
that?
thinking that since I'm an android, it's not like I'm having kids anyway.
Yeah. Bleep blorp.
Yeah, that maybe that has to do with my creating art and sharing it. Okay, well then I think I'll sort of say that quietly to myself as I watch the party go down under, and then
I'm going to give you 2 other aphorisms, just so you can incorporate this into your role playing as much as you like. Question, purpose, test. The basis of understanding the world is to think of a question, pose an answer to it, and find a way to test whether or not that answer is true. Each of these concepts is part of a, quote, perfect triangle, end quote, of understanding. All 3 parts are necessary and interdependent. Questioning without proposals or testing is mere philosophy. An answer can't exist without a question, and an answer without testing is mere speculation. Testing without a question or hypothesis is dangerous experimentation. And then the last one is share what you know. Every discovery since the dawn of civilization has allowed later inventors to create even greater things than those who came before them. Hiding knowledge from the world is like stealing from starving future minds. The church doesn't expect all researchers and inventors to publicly disclose everything, but they should document their work so that others can benefit from it, even if only posthumously. The holy text, incidentally, is the logic of design. So, I mean, those are the things that you can potentially incorporate. I'm going to put them in chat just so that they're written down.
Yeah, I put them on my notes on my character sheet.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, I'm going to, say a little bit of that to myself as I watch the party go down into the water. And then I think just sort of follow along with the crowd if the crowd is gathering together to do another town meeting.
Sure. Okay. And then Prophet, what are you tagging along as well? Or are you working on the maintaining the Crowfoot Palace?
I am definitely going along just because I'm trying to keep as much information, I'm trying to gather as much information about what's going on as I can, and Connor's been less than forward with it, which is concerning.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think that he, for pretty much anything that he has gained access to, like Sanville Tret is a helpful source of information for you as well too. As insufferable as he is, he's the guy who's played by Paul Rudd in our campaign. He does have a pretty good insight into certain things. But Connor has otherwise mostly been pretty open with everything, and the fact that he is being protective. Why don't you give me an insight check? Actually, I'll give you plus.
Exist.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a +2. Oh, is insight not a thing in Pathfinder? Sense motive,
No,
I guess.
Sense motive, yeah.
Sense motive, yeah. Sense at +2, I'll give you him because you know him quite well. And remember, don't add the plus symbol; just add 2. Oh, there you go. Oh, nice. Yeah. So the thing is you get the sense that there is a feeling of protectiveness. Like there's a protective reason you think that he's keeping you from this. He's mentioned many times about some of the dangers out there, like some of the horrible Numerian afflictions, nanite disintegrator swarms, fractal etch, and other just terrible things that can afflict. So, he's no doubt engendered a healthy respect of the sky metafall technology. And the fact that he's, he's not displaying it terribly openly, but you can tell he's agitated by whatever he's found down there.
Yeah.
So basically what happens at the town meeting is you find out that this group of the followers of Bri were brought in by Joram. The expectation is that the goddess devotees of the goddess of invention may be able to provide some insight as to what the hell's going on. It's clear it's not, sorcery underneath there. It's some kind of Numerian technology, and they may be in the best position to help figure out what's going on. The church, apart from the Technic League, the church is probably one of the best repositories of knowledge on Numerian tech. And obviously, for pretty obvious reasons, the town is not keen on bringing the Technic League in to try and solve this. So that's the reason they've sent them under. The Connor says that they don't have any answers right now, but they are planning a follow-up expedition as well. And and then they're hopeful that that won't be necessary. That the followers of Bry will be able to. They've provisioned themselves with enough stuff to be able to be down there for a day or so, and they also have brought like what is needed to be able to breathe the water to get out as well. So we're not expecting them to be back tomorrow. If they need to spend more time down in the what we discovered underneath, they have the time. But for now, we just wait and pray. Connor says we wait, and then Joram Kite kind of adds in and pray. There's some angry questions that really are just people feeling off their emotions or whatnot. If any of you guys have anything you want to try and interject, you would have an opportunity to do that. Otherwise, the meeting kind of breaks up with some people pissed that they weren't told about this. Other people quite happy that Bry is the predominant religion in Torch. So the idea of bringing in, effectively like clockwork crusaders to try and fix this it seems like a step in the right direction for them.
Can I ask Joram a question privately?
Of course, yeah.
Excellent. I want to ask him if other people have been experiencing headaches.
Yes.
I haven't had any
yours
more.
Returned?
No, mine is fine now. But other people are having them.
They are, yes.
Other androids?
Some androids, yes. One of the survivors. Although it seems to come and go. Yours hasn't returned, has it?
No.
Interesting. No, it must be related to whatever is happening beneath the Black Hill. The fact that it afflicts you first and another android makes me think that it is not a pathogen of some kind. It's not something in the water or something in the food. It's some other factor that is at play here. And I cannot, forgive me, but I did make arcane inquiries, and it did not appear to be a magical affliction, a curse of some kind that was affecting you.
I forgive you.
Kind of claps you on the shoulder. Good of you. Now, there is much to do. Anything else?
No.
Very well. Good day. And he turns and kind of heads on his way. And otherwise, if you guys have anything else you want to accomplish throughout the day, you're free to do that. Otherwise,
I presume that I'm having trouble getting Connor alone in order to ask him questions.
Yeah, he's it's sort of they're off immediately to a town council meeting, and then yeah.
Because the biggest thing bothering the Prophet is that since they've been back, there's been no talk about what happened to the other groups, where they are, or what's down there.
No,
and those are the things that are most on the Prophet's mind, because Connor should have said something about that, and that seems odd.
So if you don't have an opportunity to talk to him, do you use someone else as a sounding board? Do you use Val, or do you use one of your new friends to talk that over?
I was going to say, if I don't know, Val probably doesn't know. We're pretty close.
And I think you can tell me, I mean, she may not be the most socially, gregarious person, but she is really, really smart, Prophet. Yeah. I imagine that discussing that stuff would likely really it wouldn't help Val. It would just at best maybe help you with venting. if anything, about like, well, there's so many people dead down there and we don't know, and your dad's going down there again.
Yeah,
so
that's the other reason why I don't want to talk to Val about it, because I know
Sure.
I'll say something stupid.
okay. So do you want to talk to, like, is it are you just keeping to yourself then, or are you going to talk to? I mean, the people that sort of went with you down into the Gremlin cave. They seem to be pretty invested in this as well. You can notice in the crowd that you see that android again. You see Algar and Gunthar in the
Oh
mix
my
as well.
god, I know exactly who I'm going to drop this to.
Yeah.
I tell Vortimer. Because he's an android and has no social cues, and he can piss people off for me.
I'm sorry. What do you tell Vortimer specifically?
I just like subtly tell Vortimer, because bluff is a racial ability for tieflings, and I do still have it. So I'm just like, odd that they haven't talked more about what happened to those other groups. It's like the sleaze. Like there's no hiding my sleaze, but because he's an android, he can't even tell.
Yeah. No, I like it. I guess Vortimer.
I got wisdom and int through the roof. I know how to do that.
Vortimer is sort of looking around and thinking, and then he's gonna go to Kyrus and Algar and say, "Hey guys, did they say anything about the other adventurers?"
I get a look on my face. I'm like, no.
Maybe we should ask Connor. Where is Connor anyway? And I'm gonna look around for Connor and see if I can.
Maybe he's in his shop. We should look in his shop.
Yes.
Okay, let's go wait for Connor in his shop outside.
We can't go to his workshop. It's locked.
Yeah, you guys all were told not to go. You heard him say not to go in there.
Well, but we can wait outside, right? For him to come back. Excellent. All right, let's do that. Or that's what Vortimer is going to do. He's just going to start walking, and you guys can follow if you'd like.
Nice.
I shrug and go along.
Okay.
Well, they're waiting. They're waiting. They're praying. Well, some of us have to go back to work.
I did my work.
Gunthar heads back to work. Oh man, is giving the stink eye to Algar a standard action or a swift action? Okay, so you guys wait outside, and it's a couple hours of waiting around outside the shop before Connor does sort of come back, seemingly in a bit of a huff, and he sees you all waiting out there, and he looks and says, "What are you doing?"
We wanted to know about the other adventuring party.
I don't have time for this.
Oh.
And, yeah, he gestures, and Prophet, you're there as well, right?
No, I set Vortimer up to do this.
Okay, yeah. So then, he says, I don't have time for this.
I am the puppeteer.
Can I dig down, and I'm going to stare at him intensely and say, "Can you tell us if they're dead?"
And I want to give him a look because Prada was one of that group, and I'm like, I really want to know.
Kyrus, why don't you give me, I'm going to first off here, Vortimer, would you give me an intimidate check, please?
Oh, I'm not good at intimidate.
That's okay. There is nothing more I love in role-playing games than characters doing things that they're shitty at. I'm
gonna try to position myself in front of the door as much as possible, and not be shy about the space I'm taking up either.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't you give me an intimidate as well, Vortimer? You're more comical than you are intimidating.
Oh, that's okay.
I think because you know what, like you're, in the fiction, I imagine that your character just because you don't really read human cues very well. The face you're making, you think is like, hey, this is what people do to intimidate people, but really it's more of a
Well, I think that's a lot of what I do is that I'm kind of thinking fake it till you make it, and I'm just not that good at faking it.
He's trying to show all of his teeth at the same time.
Yeah,
Algar. Whoa.
Yeah.
So Algar, however, pulls a full-on fucking, crazy intimidate. Gets himself up and kind of, and we see the glowing, nanite sort of flows through his body like a surge going through a circuit, and his eyes kind of flash in that same color as well. Kyrus, you're going to get a +2 to your diplomacy check.
Oh.
Because it sounds like you were trying to play on his sympathies, right? Not trying to intimidate him?
Yeah, I'm not trained in that, but...
Algar's the bad cop, Kyrus is the good cop.
Yeah, exactly.
I can be bad cop, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. So he, you say him, but what I want to know what happened to Parda, and he sort of stops. And would you give me a sense motive check there, Kairos?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Well, my wisdom is not the highest.
Man, maybe the dice will be in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
I really want to know, but I don't want to hear.
He's inscrutable. I think
have...
you care more about the answer to this than you would have thought. Like when you ask the question, there's a little bit of like waver at the end of it as emotion sort of takes hold of your voice unintentionally. And
about his girlfriend.
Yeah, and he stops and
feelings.
He says,
my dagger.
What he just says, on his way into the workshop is, she won't be back.
Ooh.
He turns and makes his way into the workshop, closing the door, and you hear the click of the lock afterwards.
Well, that just galvanized my interest in going down there.
Okay.
I think Vortimer says something like, "Oh, that's not good. Are you going to be okay, Kairos?"
There.
I put my hand much more empathetically on Cyrus' shoulder.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's how much you disliked Parda.
Yeah. I understand that Kairos, did not. Yeah, as much as
I'll be okay after two things: when I get my dagger back and I kill everything down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. You gave her the dagger. That's right. Okay. So, is there anything you guys have planned for the rest of the day?
I half expected Vortimer to be like, I should tell the prophet about what I learned. Like, just totally oust me and just like, damn it.
I think if Prophet runs into Vortimer will tell her, but he's not going to go looking for Prophet.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm thinking heavy labor to take my mind off of stuff and then drinking heavily.
Okay. Sounds good. Now that Ragnar's back, I think he's happy to have all of you around, at that evening. So they'll have kind of a welcome home Ragnar party.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so then the evening comes and goes with
I'm
no.
Go
ahead.
I'm going to drop a gold piece worth of booze.
Nice.
Oh, rounds.
Excellent. It's a shame with this fucking milestone advancement system because in some of the older versions of D&D, like there's some great carousing rules where you get XP for if you're blowing your money on, whooping it up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to derail things, but boy, would it be fun to make use of the carousing tables?
Oh yeah, the Broodmother Sky Fortress one that you've been using.
Yeah.
That
one's good. The Conan one, the one from the 2D20 Conan, is fucking awesome.
The Conan one is the one that we got Jeff waking up with the strumpet, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, so good.
I'd be up for using that.
Yeah, it's just for this one, for an AP, it's difficult because we are in session 5 and we have yet to really actually start the module.
Yeah,
like as written. This is how I run modules. It's just but the difficulty is there is a tension between. I'm just going to bitch for 1 second about the Pathfinder system, but there's a tension between. Letting people just play, whatever they're experiencing at the table and let the things kind of breathe for whatever they're doing. And then also keying them getting achievements in the actual AP to when they're getting advancement. That's a bit of a fucked up way to run. Like if you're at a table where you just want to run through the AP and just do check those marks, it's fine. And it'll move at a good pace. But if you want to run it like a more traditional module where you're filling in stuff, it does create some problems for the advancement system because you guys have spent now 5 sessions, so you're 15 hours at level 1, and no one's bitched so far, so that's much appreciated.
Okay,
I haven't died yet, so
yeah.
I mean, I would love level 2 and more spells, but I'm totally fine with role playing. I play Scion. It's a rules light role play heavy system.
If we're doing some stuff, Sanville Tret had mentioned to Vortimer about gambling at the Silver Disc Hall, and I think that might be part of how Vortimer spends his time when he's in town, since he doesn't have a lot of expenses.
Yeah.
So, are there rules for that, or do we just say I lose a gold piece or two?
No, let's hold on.
Considering that I'm a profession gambler, there are definitely rules for this.
Where the fuck did I put it? Hold on. Where did I put my...
The way I do quick and dirty gambling is the house has a 53% chance of winning, and you don't.
I was actually really surprised because I want to run Stack in Darkness, and in the very beginning, it's like a huge gambling scene, and they actually have rules for like 5 different games, and I'm like, nice. They put effort in.
Give me a second. I think I put my I'm gonna grab my Xanthar's Guide because Xanthar's Guide has a decent gambling like mini game for the downtime rules. So just give me 2 seconds here.
Yeah.
Will do.
So yeah, what I do is if a player tries to intentionally cheat, I give them like a sleight of hand check, and that gives them a bonus on their roll. So, but you know,
again, profession gambler. I've just got this.
That'd give you a bonus as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. It was my job, technically.
Yeah.
I'm reading.
It's been sitting right. I reorganized my office last weekend, and it's been sitting right behind me. Yeah. Well, I'm looking this up too. It's worth. I picked up a couple things from the DM's guild for use in my 5e games. But there's one product they've got called Random Encounters. Excuse me. It's what you would expect from a lot of like random tables, but there's 3 things that really make it stand out. One of them is non-combat stuff. So it's basically like cool little like snippets of flavor that you add to the travel. You know, like you see a mountain shaped like something, or you see whatever. And there's a bunch of different tables that are all key to different locales, so like coastlines or tundra or whatever. I'm going to be using it in Ash going forward too.
Excellent.
So that's cool.
Also the Shadow of the Demon Lord has a lot of stuff like that, right? In the supplements that they've got, like, you know, random tables for just stuff that you come across while you're walking through the wilderness. I thought that was really neat.
It's got the character creation. We did that last week for Shadow of the Demon Lord for a one-shot where the guys were playing hirelings, because that seemed to model, you know, the precarious life as a hireling better. And boy, they really enjoyed it. All right. So how much do you think you'd bet?
I don't think I'm going to bet very much, because I think I've got to make it last until I go out on my next expedition or whatever I do to make money. Okay. So I'm going to bet 3 gold pieces.
Oh, you are living large.
Oh, is that living large?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it? I don't know.
Like silver.
Who knows?
Isn't it like a silver piece for a day's labor for a normal person?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so it's going to like 3 months' wages.
Or a few silver
3
pieces
weeks
or something. Yeah.
Okay. That's all right. I'm starting off living large. I'll tone it down as I go on.
Okay. So then, are you planning on cheating?
No.
Not going to cheat. Okay. So then just give me a... You know what? Give me a roll of 3d6. Yeah, I know they're there for... thanks, Jamie. Just I don't really care. Sometimes, you know, the Pathfinder chooses to not go the fastest route to, you know, to an answer. Okay, so what you gain, basically, you gain the amount you bet plus half more.
Excellent.
59.
And how many silver to a gold? Is it 10 to 1?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is
a flat system that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
It uses the Canadian currency system.
Yeah, the metric. Oh God, that's actually so. You'll appreciate this, Isaac. In our Ash game, everyone else is from the States, and I'm the only one from Canada. So I keep having to convert the fucking temperatures over from Fahrenheit to Celsius.
Oh God!
And every time I'm like, "Holy shit, that's cold."
We get great reveals for it though. It's fun.
Yeah. Okay. So So I mean that you spend the evening at Silver Disc Hall, and if it sounds like you would have been here before.
Yes.
And it is it's even it's certainly busier than usual. You know, and people are a lot drunker than usual as well. So all right. So otherwise, that evening passes uneventfully, and the followers of Bry, as was expected, do not return. But but then they don't return by the next evening either. So it seems like once again there's, you know, late night meetings with the town council as they're trying to figure out what the fuck to do. And what ends up being decided, you find, is that Connor is going to be leading another team down there. They seem to have the most success. They still have not shared what's been found down there. That's being kept by the town council fairly secretly. And we once again see a scene now 6 days after the torch went out with Connor and Geralt and several other basically the same group of hirelings all heading down. Now the expectation again is that they won't be. It may be 2 days they'll be down there, but no more than 2 days, and they'll check back in to be sure. If they're able to find the group, the devotees of Bry, they will bring them back. But that's going down now. The mood in the town has sort of it's been nearly a week since this has gone out. It's the sort of original panic and fear is slowly becoming a numb depression, rather than panic. And the markets are empty for the most part. The Black Hill is still eerily quiet. All you hear is the swirling winds blowing across the Nemirian plains.
It's a beautiful sound.
Yeah. And even I don't know. I mean, like you think of, like, for instance, like I sleep with a fan on all the time, not because of the fan. I like the white noise. And when you don't have that, it's really unsettling.
Yeah.
So
I'm a light sleeper too, so I need it.
Yeah, so like I imagine with like Prophet's been so used to it that even though that may have been she would say it's a regular irritation, it's unsettling. It puts you out of your regular comfort level. And I imagine that things sound louder too. Like the transition when you do hear things, the transition between silence and sudden sound is a little more like Jesus, for those first couple of days. But then we get to they head out again. And you probably could have a moment to steal time with Connor or Geralt before they head down if you guys want to have a scene with that. Otherwise, they head out.
Connor's been too elusive with me. I'm taking this opportunity that because they're expecting to be gone for a few days, now I'm going to check the workshop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So like after he goes down, you mean?
Yeah. Because he's been keeping stuff from me, and I suspect that if he didn't want me in there, that's where he's keeping those secrets.
Okay. So you're going to defy him and go into his workshop.
Yeah, because he's not telling me something.
Okay.
I understand his worry for me, but at the same time, this is a new thing, and it's bothering me as much.
Okay. What's your alignment?
True neutral.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you plan on gaining access?
That's a good question, Brigman.
If I'm at all present for this, I can volunteer.
Well, you guys can picture it. We'll say it's gonna. I think the first opportunity that, unless Prophet goes out trying to find you guys, then the first opportunity that she would have to talk to you guys would be that evening in the Foundry Tavern, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Is that what sort of your plan is there?
I'll go in there alone.
Prophet?
Okay. Yeah, I don't think, as far as I know, we don't have anyone who's actually good at like picking locks or anything. I know the workshop because I've been in there before, obviously.
What is the skill for picking locks?
It would be disable device.
Okay, I have a high dexterity, so if that allows me to try, I can try.
That's a trained only.
Trained only? Okay.
Yeah, and also you need specific tools in order to do that.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Gunther is skilled at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Detect secret doors. There's not a secret way in that I would have found before, right?
Is Detect Secret Doors a first level spell?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to cast that?
I'm having no spells prepared for this day so that I can prepare them in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Like at any given point.
Okay, so that doesn't answer my question. Are you casting it?
Yeah, I'll cast it just to see if I can find any sort of secret way in.
Okay. There is not.
Okay. So I can't get in that way. I presume he locked it before he left because he probably suspected I would do something like this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to break it. I guess I should inquire for some help. And Vortimer's the Slayer?
Yes,
Vortimer's
Vortimer
the
is the Slayer.
All right. You know, the two people who I think would have the highest chance of getting me in there, just considering what I know as a knowledge engineering person, would be Vortimer, just because he's a tinkerer and he makes stuff. He worships Bry. And Gunther, because I know people with guns tend to be very good at getting into things. So
Okay.
those are the two I'm going to seek for help.
Okay. So let's pick that up. So sorry, Vortimer and Gunther, you said?
Yep, those are the two.
Who does she approach first?
Vortimer feels like the easier one to find, and Gunther always has a gun and is loud.
Okay. So Vortimer, let's do that scene first. So Vortimer, tell us how Prophet approaches Vortimer about this.
So Prophet is as casual as someone with 6 charisma and no eyes can be. So she's like, "Hey, good friend. I was wondering if you could help me with something. I locked something in the workshop when last I was in there, and without Connor around, I'm gonna have some trouble getting it, and I really need it for something I'm working on tomorrow."
Prophet, make a bluff check, and Vortimer, make a sense motive check.
I think Prophet might still be my studied target from when we were down in the cave. So can I add the bonus?
Yes, you can.
I actually got a really good roll.
Okay. So
Okay.
it does. She does seem to be telling you the truth.
Okay.
Tieflings are excellent liars.
I can do my best. I don't have picks or something. I'm gonna say I might know someone who could help, and what you know is I don't actually know someone who can help. I've just know that the rope fists are in town, and that's the sort of thing that they can do.
Well, if you can do that, I'm going to go ask if Gunther can help too. I know black powder can help quite a bit.
Do you want me to come along?
Sure. Because he'll just lend credence to my lies.
Okay.
Okay, so you, we the two of you guys head down to the scrapyard, and Gunther's, working away down there. He's trying to nurse the hangover that he's got from the incredible welcome home party that Ragnar and the boys had. What do we see happen here?
Well, Gunther is throwing junk around, probably pretty carelessly, just trying to catch up with his responsibilities, because so much of his day was taken up listening to everybody squabble down at the town hall and whatnot. So he's a bit frustrated by it all, but work always takes his mind off those things. So he's just losing himself in his work, trying to make it to the end of the day.
Okay.
Hey, sharpshooter.
Prophet, what can I do for you?
I'm trying to get through a door. I was wondering if maybe you might have any insight into the situation.
And
yeah, just grab the handle and pull it real good. Should open right up for you.
It's unfortunately locked, if you're catching my drift.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me get my tools and whatnot. I got to finish moving this pile of junk from this pile to that pile.
Cool. Just meet me at Connor's workshop in an hour.
Okay, will do.
Okay.
And Vortimer's going to say, shouldn't you tell him about the thing that you left in there? Because it sounded a little weird.
Gunther and I are different types of friends. He understands.
Okay.
Okay. So Gunther, you meet them there, and it becomes apparent that it's actually what Prophet wants you to do is to open up Connor's residence.
Do it.
Isn't this Connor's house?
Yeah, and I work here, and I've left some stuff in there.
Give me a bluff check, and Gunther, give me a sense motive check.
Can I aid another to the bluff?
No.
No.
You think that she's telling you. Why would you think she's lying?
Oh, that's true. Okay,
Yeah.
That's a good point. I was thinking because I could say something to say, no,
Yeah,
it's
see, I
true.
knew I couldn't lie to Gunther.
Yeah. So Gunther, yeah, she's full of shit. She's trying to break into Connor's house. It's clear to you what's actually going on here.
Well, Prophet, I'm all for helping you out, but not much for breaking rules and breaking into somebody's abode like this.
We're breaking in?
Look, he's out of town and he's not giving us the full story. He's not even giving me the full story, and I live with him.
Well,
we need to know what's going on.
Surely we ought to trust him, though, right? He's trustworthy.
And I do trust him. I've known him for 8 years. He's been basically a father figure to me. And the fact that he's not telling me something is what has me more worried than any number of disappearing parties.
Now, out of character, you do know Gunther prides himself on being lawful because he wants to be a shield marshal. So he does have real problems with this. You have to somehow convince him.
And to be clear, guys, like I would much play your characters as authentically as you feel is appropriate for your characters. There's not like a story goal or any shit like that needs to happen. I'm much more interested in seeing what happens when you play your characters the way you want to play them, the way you feel they should be played, rather than what facilitates a better, moves the party along. I never want us to be thinking of it in that way.
Hey, for sure.
Is
Profit plays for knowledge first.
Oh yeah, totally. No, that's what. Like role played properly, inter-party conflict can be great. It can make for real fun tension, and good drama. And neither of you guys are being dicks with your characters, right? So that's fine.
Do we know if Connor is a devotee of Bry?
You're not sure one way or the other.
Do I know? Since I know him.
I don't think that. Well, give me a sense motive check. Let's see if it's something you've ever really. Like, he's not a priest by any means, you know. So I'm just wondering whether you
natural 20.
Yeah. So he's actually oddly has never made when you think of it, he's never made any reference to any kind of aphorism or faith or whatever. Not only to Bry, to any god.
Yeah. Much like most wizards, religion is secondary.
Yeah.
Magic is first.
Okay, because I was going to say the followers of Bry say share what you know. I'm sure he will.
With a nat 20, the only time that, because it's such a good thing, the only time you've heard him make any kind of like reference to any kind of divinity is one time when something, some device that he was working on nearly blew up. He spat it out like a curse saying Zonkathon.
Yeah, oh yeah, good old Zonkuthon.
Yeah.
I am well aware of Zonkuthon.
Yeah, so but that's the only thing. He said it like he spat out a curse.
Yeah, like standard stuff.
Yeah.
I'd probably do it.
Well, Prophet, I'm all for helping you when you need it, but if Connor told you to stay out of his home, I got a real problem trying to open his door like this.
What about a window? Hashtag being a smartass.
Now, I'm sure you wouldn't do this without a real good reason, right? Is your dog locked inside? Little sister's missing. I mean, what exactly is the danger?
Val pokes your head out. Hi, guys. Bye, guys.
The danger isn't in that house. It's what's under this city. And unfortunately, he's not telling us what that is.
Well, you make a real shitty case, but...
I do. I have 6 charisma.
But you're right. There is something weird going on in this town, and people are disappearing. He takes his dented badge and puts it in Prophet's hand. Hold this. I won't need it for a minute.
Oh, nice.
He's currently not a lawman because I have his badge.
Okay. Give me a sec here. Let's see.
So he gets his tools out, and he's going to work on the door. We'll just do a straight roll.
Yeah. Give me a disable device check. Let's see.
And he's got tools.
Damn.
Whoa. Yeah, so very, very easily you're able to hold on here. Actually, that's not good enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Gotta love fucking Pathfinder and it's
Arbitrarily
agnostic.
high DCs.
Yeah, like it's so
But we
you're
have-
working at this and you
we
feel
have
like
to keep it in context. I mean, this is a fairly high-level wizard wanting to protect his stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
true.
So it's you're working away on it and it just you can't get it open, at least not this way.
Old man's got a good lock here. Can't quite crack
I'm
it.
gonna detect magic, just
Okay.
to make sure that he's not that we're not walking into some sort of potential trap.
Sure.
Gunther
there
feels
doesn't-
relieved that he couldn't get the door open now, and he takes his badge back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and that I imagine he'll be taking 1d6 points of personal disappointment at his moral shortcomings.
Yeah.
1d6 virtue damage.
Yeah. So you so you cast that, and there does not appear to be any magic on the door. No, like let's see here. Hold on. Yeah, there's no aura you can see on the door.
It's just one hell of a deadbolt.
Yeah, it's just it's a lock. I mean, like in the fiction narrative, like Gunther's great with his guns and whatnot too, but he's not super practiced at popping locks open.
Yeah.
Well, this is a Numerian 214. It's one of the finest locks out of Starfall. He knew what he was doing when he put it in here.
So what are you guys gonna do?
I don't think we should continue to try to break in now that I know that that's what we're doing.
Damn, I've lost Mortimer. I was gonna say option B is I try to steal Val's key, and that seems like an even worse idea.
Yeah, when you can't
Well,
see, I imagine that's gonna be tricky with your pickpocket.
Oh yeah. No, I have a penalty for being blind, even though I have all of my crazy stuff. I do
Mhm.
still have penalties to a lot of dex-based skills.
Jeez.
Sleight of hand is one of them.
Well, instead of sneaking in, why don't you just talk to Val and see what she knows?
I like turn incredulously at him, just because like it'd be the equivalent of knowing that I'm bad at talking to people, but
Yep.
out of game, it's I have 6 charisma. Me talking to somebody to being like, "Hey, I'm trying to get into the house." Why? I don't trust him.
I'm not much for talking either.
Okay. So it sounds like Gunther's gonna, he's out, and it sounds like Vortimer might be out as well.
Yeah.
Prophet, anything else you want to try here or do?
Unfortunately, I think actually talking to Val, despite my better judgment, is going to be my only way in here now.
Okay. So do you want to try anything with Val to get in there?
You know
think
what?
Past experience with Val is it's unlikely that unless you're able to completely bamboozle her, she's going to go if Dad says don't go in there, she's going to follow those instructions. That's what your past experience with her suggests.
Yeah, I know. It's not even like I can tell her the truth. Like he hasn't told us anything about what's down there, and yet he's going down again.
Yeah.
And that would be like it would be truthful, but it would still be trying to manipulate her and feed off of her worry, which is, I hate liking people.
Damn you, DM, for giving us DNPCs.
Oh no, it's background choice for Blind Prophet is that they're both basically
it's an
her
old-
only
so-
family.
There's a role-playing game called Champions. That's the hero system game, and it has a character called Dependent NPCs, and there's a running joke with the NPCs that they are basically like, the saying about robbing the boy hostage. That's basically what they are. They're there to just get the players in trouble, give them something to lose. Okay, so I guess apart from your aborted attempt at burglary, there otherwise nothing. The evening passes uneventfully. Connor doesn't come back that first night, though that was expected, and we get into the second day. Now, before we pick up with that, guys, we're about an hour and a half in. Why don't we take our 5-minute break now, take a bio break, and then come back and see what other trouble we can get up to.
Nice.
Okay.
Or fail to get up to in the case of breaking and entering.
This is getting fun.
It is. What are you doing? Unscrupulous things.
Well, I'm neutral. Kyrus is neutral good, so he can be convinced to do stuff against the law, but he's a good guy.
Yeah. True neutral. Morality is gray for the blind prophet. If it furthers her knowledge of things, she'll probably do it.
Yeah. Well, to a point. I mean, evil's willing to do anything. He was just like, yeah, I don't really want to, but unless there's a really good reason, maybe.
Yeah, like if she didn't actually actively care about people, she'd probably be evil.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that evil people can care about people too. It's just they're willing to get rid of them if necessary.
They can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think one of my favorite characters that I have is a lawful evil gunslinger who very, very seldomly actually does evil things.
Yep.
But it's because the whole purpose behind her character is that she feels responsible for her sister being in prison. So she's willing to do whatever it will take to get her out, but not actually nothing that would get her in trouble in that process. Because if she herself gets arrested, she cannot save her sister.
Yeah. My favorite character that I made was also lawful evil. It was for the Hell's Vengeance campaign. I made a tiefling oracle of life that worshipped Asmodeus, but he's basically brainwashed into it because he became a profession torturer. And if you ever played that campaign, you kind of know how that starts off.
I have not, but I've heard things.
Well, basically, you're going after a.
It's the opposite campaign to Hell's Rebels, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was the compunction was he didn't like killing people because he thought of people as tools, and you don't throw away a good tool unless you can help it. So that was his bent on why he didn't do evil all the time. But he was actually pretty cool. I liked him. He eventually got corrupted by the light side and turned against the party, which was great on the evil turning and against the good. But it was pretty cool.
I made 2 more characters with the release of Heroes of Galarian, only one of which used stuff from Heroes of Galarian.
Is that the newest thing?
You saw some of the sorcerer bit, and good God, that sorcerer is insane.
Okay.
We're talking. I have an oracle, which is supposed to be like the divine sorcerer, and they get all the cure spells and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
This fire spells only sorcerer heals about twice as good as any cleric I have ever played.
Nice.
And I'm just like, why is this allowed to be a thing?
Well, no.
And then the other one, I went back, that gunslinger I was actually just telling you about, the lawful evil one. She was a mysterious stranger, but I found out in the martial arts handbook there's actually another cool archetype that stacks with, or that can stack with mysterious stranger. That makes them really stupid mobile, and it's actually a lot of fun.
Nice.
If you cast haste on this character, then somehow they get up to speed 200.
Who's at speed 200?
Some theory crafted character.
Oh, okay.
Gunslinger with the black powder vaulter archetype from martial arts handbook. At level 1, they get an ability for a swift action. You boost their speed by 20.
Okay.
And by 3, they get a free shot on the run. So their whole purpose is being a gunslinger, but extra mobile. They also get an ability to reload any firearm as part of a move action, which is normally not a thing. So it highly incentivizes moving and shooting all the time. And there's in the Armor Master's Handbook, there's a style feat that on its second thing, anytime you're using shot on the run, double your speed. So this character gets to speed 100 through just those 2 things by level 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. Are we, Jamie, are you back?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Oh, my
I'm
goodness.
half packing. I got to watch the dog again for a weekend.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Jamie's back.
Jamie's back. All right. So we pick up now 6 days. 7 days. My goodness. 7 days since the torch has gone out. The evening comes. No Connor.
And there's another subtitle 12 hours before the scene that we just played.
No. We trust the audience to do the math appropriately. Okay, let's roll for the morning though. Let's see who is, if anyone's feeling under the weather. Prophet, you are feeling right as rain.
I'm surprised I
Algar,
didn't have any.
right as rain. Vortimer, just fine. Kyrus,
Heavy drinking, heavy drinking, heavy drinking.
okay. And Gunthar, I rolled a 99 for you. So yeah, you're feeling just fine.
Right.
So you guys are kind of sitting around the actually fairly empty tavern at this point too. I think because Connor's gone, it's maybe, people are. It's now more than a week since the torch went out. There's some families who are just like, look, it's not coming back on, and people are starting to sort of figure out that they need to save their coin because they're going to need to build a life elsewhere afterwards. So it's you guys in there, and Val is really the one who's handling the bar in everyone else's absence. You, Gunthar, obviously are definitely feeling Geralt's absence, and you're maybe like playing over that flux capacitor that you're holding for him in your hand.
Yeah, Gunther just kind of rolls it between his fingers and mumbles to himself, damn fool. I tried to warn you.
Yeah. And would you guys kindly give me each a perception check?
Is it a visual-based perception check?
No, it's hearing. So you'll be able to participate in this one.
Sweet.
All right.
I was about to say, if we got a 13, I was about to.
Holy shit, Algar.
Look at the
nicely
ears
done.
on Algar.
Yeah.
Wow.
These are my nanite ears. Okay. So
What do your nanite ears hear?
you're all sitting around, and there's the conversation. If we contrast this with that night where Algar wrestled Parda, and Kyrus filled the tavern with song and people cheering and whatnot. This is a ghost town by comparison. Everyone is having, at best, somber, hushed conversations. People are at best just nursing their drinks rather than trying to, it's even past the point of trying to drink their problems away. It's really just, the realization is definitely settling in Torch that this town might be dead, and Algar, you're the only one who hears this. You can hear a muffled scream from somewhere off in this direction.
Which direction again?
So can you see the ping? What level?
Yeah. Can I possibly run over that direction?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
So you burst out of your chair and go racing through, and as you go outside, you can hear that the screaming is coming from within here.
All right. I'm just gonna barge
that house
the door.
I was trying to break into.
Okay. So none of the rest of you heard this. Seeing Algar run up, so Gunthar looks like he's coming up after you. So the door is shut, and the screaming is coming from within.
I'm opening the door.
If the doors are open more, can we hear it now?
Let's see here. Who rolled?
Actually, I take that back. I'm not going to open the door. I'm going to try to kick open the door.
Okay, so if the door is open, let's hear
Okay.
Vortimer and Kyrus can now hear it. With the
Okay.
door thrown open, you realize, like, oh my god, what is that sound?
I'm like, guys, something's happening.
Gonna jog outside.
Prophet, I think because you're mindful of this, and in the way that she is, in a sense, for you, family, it's Val screaming.
All right, I push everyone out of the way.
We cannot get outside of the building, I think, because of the lines of dynamic lighting.
Well, that's
door's
really not my
blocking us.
problem, is it?
Well,
Help! I want to go. Oh, it's
trying
so
to
good.
be rescuing, and we're stuck inside because of the way that the Roll20 works. I'm sorry, Val.
Okay, so yeah.
Where is the door?
Okay, so you guys go racing out, and so Algar, you're the first one there. Why don't you give me a strength check, please?
Okay.
I'm gonna give you.
I have a
+2.
crowbar. If I'm here, I can hand it to you.
Algar is faster than
Algar's
you guys.
faster than me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast
All
a
right.
thing
I'll
on
give plus
Algar
2.
before he starts.
No, you
Oh.
don't have the chance to do that. He's faster
Yeah.
than you, and he acted before. However, he did fuck up his first roll. So he
My
hits it,
foot
kind of
is
like,
hurt.
bounces back from the door. It's not as mighty as he thought.
He can do better. I divine misfortune him.
Okay, so
All right.
now you have plus
Plus half
1.
my level.
And I'm going to pull out my crowbar and say, here, try this. And that gives you a +2 on strength checks to open doors and chests, I think.
Okay, so give you plus 3 to your next strength check.
Well, let me rap on my drum a little bit, and he can use his barbarian blade.
Yeah. So now what do I have?
Wait, is that an insight bonus that you get from your
It's
drumming?
it's a morale bonus.
Morale bonus? Okay,
Yeah. So you can actually use your blood rage, so you get a +2.
so it would give you
On top
a
of
net
it.
plus
5.
Sure, I'll do
5.
that.
Yeah.
The
So
nanites will
total
flare up.
it's a +5 then.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Here
So
we go.
just- Oh my god! Oh my god!
All right, so what you do
Oh no!
is you jam it. You are so fucking pumped up by this. You slam the crowbar into the side, and you realize like effectively what you've done is made it more stuck now.
Oh
You're like,
god!
"Ah!" And it's gone right into the frame, and it's now securing like this door more than what it was before.
Well, my bonus lasts for another 2 turns, so have fun with it.
All right.
Rage intensifies.
Now that you guys are closer, not only do you hear screaming, you also hear crashing. Something is like, imagine someone throwing furniture around in a room.
Are these
All right.
windows?
Prophet says, "Fuck this."
Those are windows, yeah.
Yep.
Can
I'm
we
gonna
get in?
break some windows.
Yeah.
So
I don't
who
know how
wants
much.
to go in?
I don't know how much health missile or windows have, but a number of magic missiles do force should shatter at least one, so that we can get in.
Oh, sure. Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, I'm using my ring to cast a spell I haven't prepared, and I magic missile the window.
Okay. What do your magic missiles look like?
I put my hands together, and a series of like bright lights, like meteor-esque lights, just shoot out in random directions. And
What color?
code. Oh, definitely like the light blue.
Okay,
That
yep.
beautiful light blue.
Signature good mage colors. Okay, so you do exactly that. Bring your hands apart, and the window is smashed in. Nothing remains from it. So you guys now have a way of entry. The screams and the crashing sounds even louder. Who is first through?
Me.
You know what? Fuck this. Let's roll initiative. Everyone,
Yeah, let's roll initiative.
Everyone, click on their tokens and then click on initiative, please. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna now do it. I declare the turns. Boom.
Which one is the initiative?
How do I answer it by saying it's the one that says initiative without sounding like a smart ass?
Oh, it says it on my screen.
Main page
It
just
says
under
init.
your stats and hit points.
Yeah, right under hit points it says.
Oh,
Labeled init in big capital
I
letters.
thought you said token.
Oh, you have to click on your token first so that it
Oh,
assigns. Yeah, it's a roll.
Oh,
thing.
interesting. Okay. I
Yeah. Okay. Great.
I remember when I was doing dynamic
Mortimer and
lighting as a
Gunther?
DM.
oh.
Do we test based on like dexterity or something? So you
Let's just we'll say whichever you guys want to go first. I don't really care how it works.
I would like to go first then, if that's all right.
Gunther?
Go ahead.
All
Okay.
right. Can I leap through the window?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
You
Do I
don't.
need to make a test?
No, but you do need test against invisible barrier because I think there's line of sight there as well.
Yep.
So boom, you jump in, and that's what you see.
Okay. I'm gonna go over and unlock the door if I can.
It's stuck.
I think you're going to need, because of that fumble, you would need a strength check to force it open.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna try that because I think that's my first instinct is to bring everybody else in too.
Okay, so yeah, so then you're over there trying to testing the door, and you're like, what is wrong with this door? So I'm just going to move Vortimer above. Gunther, you're up next.
Oh, can I do my strength check to open it?
I
Or is that-
think I think it's 2 moves. Like it'll be one
Okay.
to climb in and then
Yep,
one to move
no worries.
over. Yeah. So, well, you know what? No, go ahead and give it a strength check. Yeah, let's see how you do. It should be
Strength
pretty
check.
high anyway.
Ooh.
Oh man,
Oh, and
Oh,
I've got
wow.
my notes for my crowbar, so that's not including the +2.
not including +2. Okay, well, fortunately, your crowbar is doing the opposite
Yes.
of of what it should be. But yeah, and that's not quite good enough. You're definitely this door is definitely going to need some repair work afterwards.
Okay.
Gunther, what are you doing?
So Gunthar follows
Okay, so you leap
follows Vortimer through
Boom.
the window.
in there. The noise is coming from over here. The screams and the bang, 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 bang.
Okay. Well, if he could do all of that in one movement, draw his gun on the go, then he will use his second movement to open the door.
Okay. Let me go to the dynamic. I can't remember how I set this up on dynamic. Oh, I've got doors set up. Look at that. Fucking pro DMing here. Boom. The door is thrown open. That's what you see.
Okay. I don't see
Another
much from here,
door.
so, but that's okay.
And
He's got the door open. He's watching.
Yeah, and the noise is coming from over here. Whatever's behind this door, because you can hear it. Something is smashing up against that door as well. All right. So next up is Prophet. What are you doing?
Well, I can get in just in front of Gunthar.
Okay. Right now you're blind. So how do you think you would know that window's open and it's safe to move through? Like, I'm trying to foresee how you would move through a shattered window pane without potentially cutting yourself. The guys would be able to see it and move over it, but you don't have that ability.
Reflex save to not cut my feet because I also walk barefoot.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. Yeah. So give me a reflex save. Let's see how nimble you are if you're trying to get in there. Just go ahead and do that for me, please.
Alternative would be acrobatics to move carefully, but
no,
I think
acrobatics. This is at best that's sharp. I shouldn't touch it. Not acrobatics would require at least some kind of sight to be able or sense to be able to sense where it would be safe to place your hands and feet and stuff.
Yeah, that's why I take a -4 to
acrobatics.
acrobatics.
Oh gosh.
That's a representation of the fact that I literally do not give a shit. Val's in trouble, and I will cut myself to get there.
Because you're blind, like I don't care about the -4. I don't think that's a sufficient penalty. You genuinely can't see. So it's a crapshoot as to whether or not you're putting your hands on a safe place or a place that's got broken glass on it, which in my mind is a reflex save.
I think that's what Isaac's saying is that's a reflex save and a nat 1 on it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I got it. Okay, yeah. Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
and I do not give a damn. I'm cutting myself to get through.
Yeah, so you take 2 points, 2 points of damage, and your bloodied hands. You throw yourself over. So you're in that hallway now. And
in front of Gunthar.
Yeah,
like I'm going through, and I don't think
but again,
I have
like
the strength to open a door. But
you can't see that though. Like, how would your character?
I've been in this house before.
No, but you don't know the door's open though. Is what I'm saying. Like, how would you know that the door was open at this point?
My character's ability that I get from the background implies that I'm not impeded at all by the fact that I can't see in terms of that kind of stuff. Like I can hear the fact that the door is open, the fact that air is moving through.
Can you click on your background ability again? I want to read it because.
Sure. Yep. I also have blind fight for free as a feat.
That's all good and fine too. It's just I'm having a hard time reconciling a character who is blind still acting as if they're not blind. So I just want to see what the.
That's the full, or that's I believe the copy pasted full trait.
Okay.
Yeah, you sense your surroundings by sound and touch.
Ugh.
Maybe it's like one of those blind people clicking their tongue as they walk or whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
hearing the echoes.
Which way does the door open? Does it open in?
I think it opens probably towards you guys. So it probably is because if it opened out into the hallway, it potentially would hit the other door if both were open.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was gonna say if it opened in, you could just rush at it and try to open it and go through. But if it opens the other way, it seems like the best thing to do is just rush at it and hope that it's open.
Yeah, and that's fine. I think that's. Yeah. So here's what I'm going to require, Isaac, is that I need you to give me some role-playing justification for how you're relying on sound and touch. Because you're not like Daredevil where you automatically have echolocation or something like that. There needs to be some way that you're interacting with the environment to rely on sound and touch in order to to get around the fact that you can't see.
Perfectly fair. The glass shattered inwards, and the fact that I'm stepping on it and making those sounds, it is implicating that I am in there and I'm on the particular floor.
Yep.
Gunther, in and of himself, makes sound. He breathes. He's concerned. He would smell like gunpowder.
Yep.
So on and so forth. And his opening the door, the hinges in and of themselves would have their own level of sound that I'm trying to pick apart through everything, which is
Sure.
talent that I essentially have through blind fight. So I've heard him open the door, and again, I've been in this building enough times to know roughly where most things are,
Okay.
without needing to think too much on it.
Okay. That's
how I
fine.
would justify this one.
Okay. So then, so that you know that the door is open then.
The
So you
other
can
thing
still
is I
take a
can hear Val screaming, and the number of layers between Val and me would influence things.
Okay. So
Like, I
you can
probably
hear
would've-
her screaming over here.
Yeah,
So you
knowing
would
she's
know-
in that
open
room,
on
that's
this
the window I
side,
probably
but-
would have blown open, but you know, we're here already. So
Okay. So
Doors
the-
open here, Prophet. I don't see anything. Be
So
careful.
you still have a move then as well, Prophet, if you want to run over here.
well, I still have a move because I have a move. I've only
Well,
done
no,
one
you
action.
getting in there is what I'm counting as your move.
Oh, yeah. Can I get in there and open that door? I'll
Is
run into it if I have to.
what kind of
Like, full
action
body
is
check.
what is it? What's the action to open to interact with object?
Move.
Yeah, move.
It's a move. Yeah. So no, you're not. You don't have enough. You're able to get there. That's the next thing you'll be doing is throwing that that door open.
Well, then I'll scream, Val. Like,
Okay.
if she has an action, she can open, let me in.
Yeah, and you hear her screaming from inside, "Prophet! Prophet!" Kairos, what are you doing?
It's getting crowded in that room, so I'm gonna move here and look through the window.
So the window's covered by curtains.
Do I hear anything?
Use
Yeah,
the
that
spear.
same banging and crashing and shit like that,
I
and the
use
screaming.
use the back end of my spear and shatter the glass and try to climb through.
Okay, it's shattered. Well, that's okay.
Well, you
Well, on
could
my
probably
next
look
turn,
through
yeah.
at least.
Yeah, so
Even
you
if
shattered the
can get-
glass, and that's where we're at for your round.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can hear something is smashing, and give me a perception check as well too.
Okay.
And actually, Prophet, you can give me a perception check as well too. There's a sound that you might hear.
Cool. 23 feet.
Okay, yeah, that's good enough.
Loading. Oh, that doesn't look good.
That's you know what it's. I think you're so focused on Val's voice, you're not hearing this. But what Kairos, what you're hearing is the sound of like it's. I'm trying to think. I don't know if you've heard this before, but there's a weird whirring and and clicking that's going on.
Would my I think I know what that is. Would my Robot Slayer campaign trait cue me into that being a
Yes.
robot?
Yep. It's
I start flashing back to where I lost my eye. I'm getting worked up.
awesome. Okay, Algar, what are you doing?
I approve of Kairos's plan, so I'm just gonna try to get up. Well,
I'll
I still have my rage going on. Does that give me a movement bonus?
I know.
No,
No,
but
it
you are
doesn't.
fast though, just as a barbarian or a blood rager.
Rager? Yeah.
And I won't stand in your way if you're running. I'll just move here and say, "Watch
Yeah,
out!" It's
Well,
a
I mean,
robot.
you guys can move through friendly squares anyway.
Mhm.
So
Oh, sorry.
narratively, it's just you could go racing past.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to run past him and get in through the window there.
I'm gonna
Okay.
try and say it's a robot. Watch out.
Yeah.
All right. So
You don't care.
so you're trying to get in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you have 40
Okay.
feet of movement?
What do I have? Let me check.
I'm wondering, maybe an acrobatics roll through the window.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with that.
Yeah, maybe I could do that. Okay, I'll do an acrobatics roll.
There we go.
Oh,
God.
Okay, so you are now prone inside there. Boom. But you do see something. Let me zoom in a bit because we're all in the same area here. Go to the DM's layer. And ready?
All
One.
right, 2.
2, 3.
oh crap!
Go next to it. Ah!
And what this thing is doing is it's standing over you. It's that weird tripod kind of thing. And it's basically tearing apart the room. Like literally, not like throwing things around willy-nilly. Like it's disassembling shit in here. As you land in there, would you give me a reflex save, please?
Sure. God!
It's going
So-
fast, you.
Basically, you land in time to get slammed by one of those swinging metal arms, and you
Ugh.
take 5 points of damage.
Jesus. Okay.
We might need
Wham!
some heals.
Okay. We're at the top of the round, Vortimer. So you've heard all this crazy shit happening to your left. You couldn't get that door open. What are you doing?
So I think if I heard the glass shatter over here, then
Yep.
I'm not going to try to get the door open anymore. I'm going to ready my bow, and I have my cold iron arrows, and that's the only arrows I have, so I have to use them.
Okay.
And I'm just going to do basically looking down past Gunther, past Prophet at this door. If there's
Okay.
anything when it opens up, I'd like to shoot at it.
Okay, so I think mechanically what I'll do is I'm going to assume that whatever your target is going to have partial cover,
Yeah.
right? So, okay. All right. So then, Gunther, what are you doing?
All right, so he will move up beside Prophet, and he's going to give the door a good old-fashioned kick in.
Boom. So that,
The body impedes the door.
Okay.
but I can't, you mean like you're going to throw the handle and kick and force it open, right?
He's not even going to touch the handle. He's going to kick it open.
Kick it. Okay, so give me a strength check, please.
It's going to knock Algar in the head. Well,
You guys are
know
just
that.
trashing. Now, this is an
Yeah.
interior door, so I don't think it's quite as, although it is the secure room. So I don't think that's quite good enough. You half-orc muscle hits up against an oaken door, and the door does not yield.
Okay,
Prophet,
that's
you can
good.
feel free to, insert anything about using the handle, because so far no one has tried opening doors yet, apart from Gunther.
I'm gonna open this door normally like a sensible person with my
Okay.
bloody hands.
Okay, so what? Give me 1 second. I gotta get the dynamic lighting, and here we go. Boom!
Gunther's concerned about bloodborne pathogens, so he'd rather kick the door.
Cooties. Okay,
So now that I can see this thing, can I take a shot at it?
yes, that's fine with me. So it's gonna have cover. Go ahead and give me a attack roll, please. Ooh, that's pretty good though.
I presume you don't have precise shot yet.
I do not have precise shot
Yeah, that's -4.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
shoot.
for being in melee with Algar.
Yeah, and plus cover.
Plus
as well.
cover is something else.
So yeah, so it
So not
kinda
enough.
goes wild, but you didn't roll
Okay.
poor enough to hit one of your allies.
Well, that's
Right.
good.
Poof. So,
I'll
Prophet,
go
that was
before, though.
Prophet. That was just a move action to toss that door open. That's what you see before you now. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Or sense, I suppose. Not.
I was gonna say I hear something, but I can't see it, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna death watch so that I can see it.
Okay, so unnervingly, it doesn't reveal it.
Oh,
Doesn't it show or neither alive nor dead, such as a construct?
Let's hear whether
It does.
it's dead.
It does show neither alive or dead like a construct, specifically in the spell.
Oh, okay.
it just doesn't. Yeah.
But it
It's
could
one of
be
those
some
things-
other option.
Yeah. Oh, that's such
Yeah,
a
this is
fucking
one of those
stupid
things
spell.
where,
Right.
because I acknowledge this is probably not a magical construct,
No, it's not.
just because of this.
Okay,
This is
so
one of
then
those
yeah,
things
that's
where-
fine. So I think the way it would display is as an absence of life.
Yeah.
It's the way that this is one of those things where it's such a stupid gamey spell, because like why would a robot display differently than a table?
Mhm.
It's only because it's in the game as a creature.
I don't disagree, but here's the other bit that
No, that's
that
fine. I don't want to dwell on it too much. So so you can sense that that's what's that's what's there. And I think that's it for your actions, right?
It is, but no,
Okay.
I do want to go with this particular thing is that technology is indistinguishable from magic if it's so no. So in theory, the spell could still identify it as magic because it has no idea what technology is.
No.
come on,
Technology
there's
guide says
electricity
that's
in
not the case.
Am I
Okay,
just
so
running through it? Are there such things?
Kairos,
No.
what are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna 5-foot step here. Can I see that robot?
I
Like
think
clearly?
that Give me let's see here. Give me a D20 roll. I think there's a 50% chance that when Algar dove in there, that he took the curtains down with him. So if you roll higher, an 11 or higher, then nice. Yeah. So curtains are down. You can see him. Okay.
I'm going to use my long spear and I'm going to stab it in where like the central core processor I think is or something. I don't know. I hate these things. Okay. My spear does have reach if that matters.
Yeah, so, that's fine. Give it shit.
I do get a +1 against robots.
Nice. Take this, robot.
So I can add it because I turned my modifier.
Do you gain the bonus from your chanting or whatever?
I do. I forgot to add that. Let's just turn that on. It's the last round until I have to renew it to sell.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Boom. 1. Attack roll. Right.
Whoa! Shit!
Holy crap!
Okay, so this.
I hate these things.
I think you may be the one who, knowing you're a robot slayer, you've probably faced these things before. Not like this type of model necessarily, but this one looks like it is beaten to shit. Like this is not functioning properly. The model or the token I've got there is completely whole and whatnot. But your spear.
I rolled max. Holy cow.
Just double checking your mouth. Oh, great. Yeah. So this is going to be enough to take out the central processing unit or whatever.
Okay.
Its electronic brain is ruined.
If I remember, some robots have hardness, which would take away from my damage. It's like damage.
This one does not actually because it's so beaten up.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it is a good point. That's one neat way that they model robots in Pathfinder is that they actually have hardness. Okay, but this one is, it's no longer functioning.
Holy crap, I didn't mean to kill it in the first go.
Yeah. Okay, so what you
I keep stabbing it.
Yeah, is that this thing is now no longer, I can put an X across it. There you go. Boom.
The red X.
So it is, it's down. Algar, you sort of scramble to your feet and you realize that this thing has been completely disabled by Kairos with one clean stroke.
Respect.
I think that the next person probably, I'm just going to skip to her because you can still hear Val screaming. Prophet, I imagine that you're going to be the one to react first here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you can sense with your Death Watch, she's underneath a desk that's just over, where is it here? Oh, it's supposed to be over here. Okay. On the north side of the wall. So you go break someone, she's underneath there crying.
All right. So I'll head on in and like Val, it's okay. Whatever it is stopped.
Okay. So she comes out, and you can see that there is on the ground, there is a like a canvas tarp. Hello, sweetie. Oh, the dog came to say hi. The canvas tarp is on the ground, so this thing was likely covered by the tarp before it just went berserk. Yeah. What Val tells you, once you've calmed her down, is that she came in here to collect something and accidentally, kind of hit this whatever this robot thing, and then it just went berserk. She had been she actually lives in here, and it's only because there was something that she needed in here. Connor had told him, had told her not to go in here, but she needed to get that and wasn't trying to disobey, wasn't trying to break anything.
Oh, I see. Call me out for my reasoning for wanting to go in here.
Just a second. Can we hear anything from this area or this one? The other rooms in the house?
You could easily check. None of the doors are locked.
Okay, so I'm gonna just look inside both rooms real quick. It's just
to make sure. So that's on the left there. That is Connor's quarters, and on the right is Val's quarters, and this is kind of their common room.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just making sure there's nothing else.
Yeah, no, still no sign of him.
Okay,
so that's weird. Prophet, you've never known Connor to keep, to have a robot like this in here. You've heard of these things, like these types of things around in Numeria, but
Just
What?
for specifically what I do know, I would like to roll an engineering, and I do technically have technologist for that.
Sure, go ahead.
Just
get
to
your
know.
hands on. Yeah, get your hands on it, and
The other thing is I want to smell it. And I know it'll smell mostly like metal, but if he brought it up from
whoa,
under
nat
the-
20.
Whoa, okay. I know
Yeah.
everything about this
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, if you get close to it, I'm like, I'm with my reach dragon, prying it to the ground. I'm like, be careful. It can still move.
Okay, so here's some of the stuff that you you gather from it is this thing is definitely beaten to shit. Like there's a lot of fairly recent damage that was done to this thing.
Yeah.
And it's in addition to what Kyrus had done to it. I think given the reaction to or how this thing was acting, like looking at the damage it's done to the room, you would guess that this is some kind of construction or repair creature. I guess it has some kind of some function to do with assembling, disassembling things.
Mhm.
The way it seems to be able to move around, and the different sort of now broken tools that it has on its body.
Yeah.
You said about the smells. I mean,
The
there's
smell specifically, because remember, the lake is full of stuff, and I don't think they would have been able to pull this thing out in any reasonable bag if it's medium sized. So
oh
it
yeah,
should
no,
have
and it
some
definitely
sort of
has that. Like there
reasonable
is that.
chemicals and-
You have your CSI kind of moment where you're feeling around on things, and there's definitely that same oily, sheen that that comes from the what do you call it, the Weeping Pond. There's also on parts of it where it seems to have been dragged. There's like flecks of mud that you would guess come from the Weeping Pond as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else you could know about this thing.
Can
weaknesses and
we?
resistances?
I think you know that it's obviously malfunctioning.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't intending to fight. At least the way that it was reacting is likely just these things are like in your mind golems, where they are given specific tasks and they follow those things as best as they can.
Yeah,
And
that's what Connor's described them to me before, when he has talked about them as like golems, but not guided by magic.
exactly, yeah. It's so what this may be is just some kind of corrupted instruction, as to why it's working that way. This thing seemed like, not to take anything away from Kyrus's, prowess,
That was
but
a critical strike right there.
yeah, but these things do seem to be this particular model. It was pretty fucking broken to begin with.
Yeah.
It was more a fluke that it actually reactivated rather than it was, lying in wait or anything like that.
Yeah. Connor wouldn't have brought anything up that he thought was going to be that harmful to.
No, definitely not.
Especially Val.
And you also think you understand now why he was so insistent on you and Val staying away from this, this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You also think you can see, well, I can't see, but I think you can sense, and I know it's not a knowledge engineering check, but there is another smell that you get off of there, and you play around something in your hands, and it's got kind of a coppery smell to it.
Coppery smell? Can
Blood.
I like
Blood.
pick? Oh, my own blood?
No. It's your blood smells like sulfur.
Yeah, the hellish blood. That's how you know.
Mm-hmm. So the unless there's anything else you guys want to try and gather from this, this is that's about as much as you can gain from this thing. I think that one thing I will say, this is just a little bit of memory from you. It's not like you've discerned this from it, but you remember that if you had applied electricity to these things, some kind of lightning or something, that is often quite effective against these types of constructs.
Every day that I've worked in the Crowfoot Palace, I've always had shocking grasp prepared, just because I presume Connor would say if something's going wrong, a quick jolt generally will start it back up again.
Yeah.
Or shut it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's great. And that's a great way of contextualizing that info. You also know that these things are fairly like a lot of Numerian technology. It's time worn, right? Like these things are particularly prone to. Well, some of them can be particularly prone to critical hits.
Yeah,
a good solid hit like what Kairos did can really take these things down.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I wanted to ask, can I retrieve my arrow or is it broken?
let's see here. Let's give it a 50% chance.
Yeah, I didn't hit
I
anything,
think
so
the
that's
chance
about
on the
right.
books.
Yeah, that's about right.
2020. Nope. I don't think it is. I think it broke when it hit.
One.
Whatever.
With a nat 1, you know what?
Yeah.
It didn't break, but you broke it taking it out.
Okay.
You're like, oh, sweet. And you grab it and
Okay. Second, can I look at the feet or whatever on this thing and try to get some sense of what its tracks would look like if it was walking?
Sure. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to see if I've got a...
Basically, does it match those tracks that were coming out of the pond?
Well, does it match those tracks? And for the next time we run across tracks, if I'll have some sense of if this is one of the things that could leave tracks, to kind of put it into the library of things that I know how to track.
So there's what this thing looks like, just to give you a little better view. And yeah, so first thing is, you these are a very distinctive track pattern. This one is pretty beaten up, so probably there's missing claws from, I mean, they're not claws, but digits, I guess, from their things. But this in no way it's definitely different from the, I'm not going to make a roll for it because it's pretty obvious. These things are just bigger than the smaller prints that you saw outside of, like, in the mud, going down in there. Whatever went down into the, or the thing that was lurking around the Crowfoot Palace before the torch went out, it's definitely not this thing or anything that looks like this.
Not anything that looks like this thing. Okay. Yeah. Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now that I'm sure the robot's dead, I'm gonna help Algor out with his wounds.
Sure.
Thank you.
I've got wounds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'll use both my spells, and there you go.
Nice.
Much appreciated.
So
2 for somebody, 7 for somebody else. So.
Okay. All right. So what do you guys do? I mean, this is a pretty strange occurrence. What are you gonna do?
Val's currently okay.
Yeah, she's like, apart from a good startling, she didn't suffer anything physically.
So I asked Val, is this what? This wasn't here before Connor went down there, right?
No.
We were allowed in there. I would know it wasn't in here before Connor went down there.
Yeah.
There are more of these under the city. They could be what's causing the torch to go out. We have to stop it.
Thanks. Magnus robot fighter.
I hate robots. So
yeah.
The present company excluded Mortimer.
Much appreciated.
Mortimer, definitely a robot.
Half-breeds are
But
okay.
I am not robot. I am mad. See?
I'm a real boy.
Okay, so the you guys, I mean, I'm not sure what you guys plan on doing with the rest of your evening, but word sort of gets to the council about this because all this is a bit of weird happenstance, and either when you guys, after you guys get home, or while you're still at, depending on how light you want to stay at the Foundry Tavern, you guys are you'll get basically a summons from Dolga Frederick.
All right, I go.
Okay, let me see here. Do I have?
Like, Prophet, do you have the mending spell?
No, it's a transmutation spell, and it's one of my forbiddens.
Oh, okay. Like, I feel kind of bad about breaking the windows.
I am also mad about breaking my mentor's windows, but to save his daughter, I think he'll forgive me.
Yeah, I know.
For sure.
I feel bad about breaking his door. He's like, I can't get in there.
We'll bring some scrap over and patch the windows up.
Yeah, actually, for what I'm doing for the rest of my day, is there any possibility of like trying to maybe like get that crowbar out of the door and like try to
between the two of you guys, like
in town is excited to mend glass today.
There's I mean, how many of you got Algar's got what, a strength of 18?
16.
16. Mortimer, what's your strength?
12.
I have a 16 as well.
You're 16 as well, yeah. So there's a couple strapping young lads here. I think you'll be able to collectively, get that stuff out. Val is pretty upset. Like I think that Prophet, what we see is that this, sort of thing. Once she calms down a bit, she does break down, and it's just like Connor being gone is really fucking weighing on her. And she's young. She's only like 14, so.
As basically her big sister, I do hold her close.
Okay, so
I'm gonna go get him back.
So it's later that you guys are called called up to the town council room where Dolga Fredert is meeting with you. And when you guys come in, she's sort of, standing at the window looking out. And again, she's a dwarf. So you guys will have to suffer through my dwarven accent because I love doing it. And she...
my dwarves come out Irish.
Yeah, my dwarves all come out like faux Scottish Irish. My shitty Scottish accent I do. So, but she, what do you call it? You guys meet up with her. When you come in, it's sort of like a... you would guess it's like the counselor's lounge. It's not a very big room. It's only about 10 by 10, but it's what passes for sort of the place for them to relax and discuss things. So as you walk in, she turns and come in. I hear there's been some excitement tonight.
You could say that.
A robot.
Yeah. I just touch my left eye and just rub it unconsciously.
Yeah. From the smell of the thing, it came up from the lake.
Connor's girl, is she...
She's okay for now.
Good. Well, then that we've had 4 go down now and 4 not return. 4 teams down, none remain. And with Connor not back tonight, we've now got no other hope.
My fist is clenched at the hear of Connor not being back. That's what's getting me.
You wanted to help Torch with your gremlin problem. Do you wish to help Torch again?
All right, I am gonna roll bluff on this one because technically I am not. I'm being dishonest,
okay.
But it's basically depends on what the pay is.
Sure.
Because I'm probably see through that.
No, you're pretty good. So she's hold her shit together. Depends what the pay is, and I rolled for a sense motor for her. She looks mercenary to the end. Mercenary to the end, girl?
Yeah, I speak up and say, well, it's not so much as wanting, it's our duty.
Now, you can't obviously see her expression, Prophet, but you can fucking feel it.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And it's just this withering, in all your time here, not a whit you've changed. Well, the offer we've had for the others will stand for you as well. 4,000 gold pieces.
Jesus Christ, okay.
Those that can reignite the torch.
And then we're going to step up and say, on full salvage rights.
Yeah.
We know not what's gone wrong with it, but if you think by taking pieces off of it, you'd get it started again, perhaps you should defer to what the girl says about the technology. But yes, whatever you take off the corpses of those responsible for this, you keep that. We only want the torch started.
So Prophet, speaking for everybody, because 6 charisma, is okay, we'll go.
Well...
And she's not trying to hide the fact that clearly she is mostly going for Connor. The paycheck is nice, and she was willing to lie that the paycheck was her main reason because she doesn't want any of her friends to know. But,
does she when Dolga tossed that barb at her? Does she react to that? Is there a visible reaction?
I don't know. Would you like me to bluff that there?
No, I'm gonna leave it to you as to whether or not you rolled certainly well enough so you can let her think that you're just doing it for money. She totally believes that, and that's why she threw that bullshit back at you. But if you let it know that if what you're saying is that she is making it clear that Prophet is accepting because she wants to get Connor back, that may have an effect on how your dynamic with Dolga.
Yeah. You know
I'm
what?
leaving
No.
that to you totally.
Prophet wants it to believe that it's only money for the main reason of that if she gives somebody else the implication that she cares about somebody else, then much like somebody took her eyes, they could take him away from her.
Sure. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's sort of going on. We know that's going on inside, but as far like no one else, I guess, can see that. There's no visible indicator that
No.
she's not doing this just for money.
Mhm.
I suppose those of you like who have been with her, that does seem like a Dolga is definitely buying this, but this is a marked difference to the level of concern that you did see with Val, you did see with her trying to get into the room as well too. So I'll let you guys.
Yeah, I don't believe her for a second.
Yeah. Okay. Just very well. And the rest of you, she speaks for all of you.
As far as going down and helping, yes. Money aside.
All right.
Torch doesn't come back on, the whole town could descend into chaos. Can't have that happening. As long as I'm hanging my hat here, we may as well do something about it.
Chaos is what we're beyond. This is a question of whether Torch survives at all. Without the Torch, we have no reason to stay here. And she sort of walks over and she pours drinks for each of you guys and then gestures for you all to take kind of a seat, and she's going to bring you up to speed as to what they've found so far.
Vortimer, long after we have gone through the mercenary comment, is going to pipe up and say, last time you told us to take the money.
Ooh.
Last time I told you to which?
Last time you told us to take the money.
Yeah, because I think
With the
Kyrus was
Jenkins.
like we would do it for free.
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay. I just want to make sure we are on the same page.
I pat Vorma on the back and like, sometimes people are not consistent.
Okay.
Aye. Such, if I didn't know your kind as well as I did, I'd think that to be sass.
Oh, I assure you I am never sassy.
And she kind of looks at you again. She's not quite sure if you're giving her sass again. Then she lets it go. So as you know, we've sent down 4 teams thus far, and the only one to successfully return at all was Connor's first expedition. What we found is Connor spoke at length with the council before going back in, and he confirmed what he told us before, despite how outlandish it sounded. The first team, the halflings, and a second group, the thugs, and then this most recent trip, all of those went missing, and Connor found no trace of them. What happened to the devotees of Bry, I cannot say. But there are caves underneath. Caves are inhabited by several enormous vermin and other scavengers, along with some strange humanoids who had the ability to blend into the shadows of the cave walls, as well as a nest of gremlin. And I think you're familiar with them, eh?
Yeah, we have unfinished business for those guys.
Yes.
Connor believed that this indicated a deeper connection in the caves to the Darklands. But of more immediate concern and interest was his discovery of a wall of solid metal deep in the caves. A wall made of a sky metal alloy called glaucite.
That's a lot of metal.
A wall made of, he said that it was like the kind that we mine from the hills and the surrounding plains, but formed into a structure with doors. It was near one of these doors that Connor found that broken automaton that you dealt with. Something he brought back from the first expedition, but we insisted he keep it from the town. You're familiar with the Technic League, I take it, and their use of those things to enforce their will.
Yes.
We saw no value in having the town think that the League lurked beneath the hill and was in any way connected with this change. Conrad examined the wall himself and determined that it was an alloy of adamantine and iron, and that one of the doors in the wall was locked tight, but the other was open. He had planned on exploring deeper beyond that door on his second expedition, but who knows if he made it that far. Now, in addition to the pay for successfully getting the torch started, we can also offer you what we offered the others, a flat 20% discount on any gear that you need to purchase. I wish I could offer a greater discount than that, but that's the best I can do. Times look as if they may be dire for all living in Torch, and this is as much as that we can ask of those people without the guarantee that the Torch will start again. Val has also agreed to keep the Foundry Tavern closed, so you can use that as your base of operations. As with the other expeditions, we'd ask that you go down and come back, if you're able, on a regular basis. It will do much for the town to know that there is some progress being made and not just losing more souls. You'll need to swim for a bit to get to the caves, but Joram Kite has agreed to cast water breathing on you. He'll keep you there, and he'll meet you at the side of the pond. Now, do you have any other questions? Or are you ready?
Considering I've burned 3 spells, we'll be ready by morning.
Me too.
Okay.
I also need to prep spells to fight robots because now I know they're down there.
Yeah, I asked Dolga, in the off chance that we don't come back, is there any assurances we can make for our family?
You are our last effort. The council has agreed that it's not worth sending more and more lives down there. This is our last chance. If you don't come back, I can't say what will happen to, let alone your families, but the town itself. Without the torch, there is no torch. She kind of looks over the rest of you. Any other questions?
Yes. How many people can Joram Kite cast the water breathing spell on?
Sufficient for you 5.
Just on 5. Okay.
No other questions?
I have no questions.
No.
Oh, I have a sassy remark.
Then,
Just as a prophet, the future looks bright.
We're going underground, Prophet. I don't think it's going to be bright down there.
then, best get your sleep, prepare yourselves, and we'll meet you by the pond tomorrow morning.
Yeah, my things to deal with that robot were absolutely nothing. I could stare at it. I had like shield, lock, gaze, and heightened awareness prepared. I was just like, well, I can make it stare at me. Oh wait, immune to mind affecting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, then why don't you guys then you guys will head home. You'll get a good night's sleep, and I do need to take another washroom break very quickly because I've been drinking too much coffee, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, we'll
Talk over as well too. If you guys need to get any other gear, you're free to grab that. We can assume you can get that first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't need any other gear. I couldn't afford it anyway.
So one of the things I'm going to suggest, I have that crowbar. It might be more useful in the hands of somebody with more strength. If one of you guys wants to take it.
Algor, probably.
I'll take it. Yeah.
All right. I will mark it off my sheet.
How much does it weigh?
5 pounds. It's in the compendium too, if you want to just drag and drop it.
Gotcha.
Oh, no.
Let's see, what can I prepare? Well, I've got my cure spells and I've got the wand. We've got 6 uses of that.
Okay.
I'm fairly well rounded.
I'm going to
Hey.
buy one more regular arrow and one more cold iron arrow so that I'm at 40 and 20 because I don't like being at 39 and 19 because I am an android. And it bothers me to not be at multiples of 10.
I could write a few scrolls of True Strike and or
Sorry about that, guys.
Let's go.
I unfortunately took the template old man bladder, so that unfortunately makes early morning sessions with lots of coffee difficult.
What are the
So-
benefits of old man bladder?
So what I want to do during the night is he wants to go visit his sister. I don't know if his parents are in town, but I'm going to leave every stitch of gold with her that I have, just so that if something happens, she can go to the big town and at least do something.
Love that. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else who have anything they want to do? Now, I know that Gunther has had the foresight to get a waterproof bag for his, like an oil-treated bag, I guess, for his, what do you call it, for his firearm.
Yeah, I got one too for my spell book.
Sure. Now, I think, so Prophet, I think, has taken great care to never fall into the Weeping Pond, but I know that Algar, Kyrus, and Gunther all grew up here.
Mhm.
And being rambunctious boys, do have any of you been pushed into the pond at any point?
I did not
Probably.
grow up here, actually.
Oh, right. That's right. You're from elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 15% chance that I have.
Sure.
I'm gonna-
Yeah.
Chance. No.
So-
And there's probably hazing rights or whatever where the kids dare each other to go into the water and how far out will you go and will you go under and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But hearing that there are possibly more robots does concern Gunther. So he will inquire of Algar, who's our resident robot slayer. At least he's heard him bitch about it endlessly at the junkyard.
Yeah.
And ask, could be dealing with more bots down there. Those things are pretty sturdy. You got any advice on how to deal with these? Not sure if the old pistol is going to hang up with it.
Pistol should work fine, but I don't know. Hit it hard, hit it fast. Pretty much like everything else.
Aim for the joints if you can.
It's got one specific way of approaching every problem. Well, you hit it with hammer,
Hit it with
and
hammer.
then if that doesn't
With the
work,
nail.
Stick it with the pointy end. That's just
Hard and fast. Got it.
hard, fast.
I'm gonna spend 50 gold,
Okay.
and that's scribing. Oh no, I can't scribe a scroll unless I've prepared it. What a bitch. Okay, I'm not doing anything.
Oh, well, can you scribe a scroll that I have a spell for? Because if we have a couple scrolls of Cure Light Wounds, that might.
How do
In
you
order to
do you have
scribe
a
a-
spell book, Kyrus?
I know Cure Light Wounds. It's a spell that I know. So I think in crafting, I just have to be present to provide the spell.
No, in order to scribe a scroll, I need to have it prepared because I actually cast it to write it.
Oh,
That's how Scribe Scroll works. So I would need to prepare Shocking Grasp and True Strike to make scrolls of them and use those spell slots for that day.
okay.
It's to prevent wizards from making unlimited spells.
So what? Getting back to the whole hazing thing that we were talking about, what you know then, Gunther, for sure is that like immersion in the Weeping Pond makes you physically ill. Not to the point where it necessarily interferes with your abilities, but it can. Like there's kids who get out of that and then like throw up for a day straight.
Okay.
We all show up in hazmat suits the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've got prestidigitation, so I might be able to get the water off me afterwards, but it's not going to be pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
I also have prestidigitation.
The best spell ever lasts for an hour.
Nice. Fastidious characters. Okay, so what is what's the plan for getting down there then, guys? Like the practicalities of having to swim down into this poorly lit, sewage, or not sewage, but like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because it's not like raw sewage. It's just like,
Like industrial runoff.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking of. Thanks. Yeah, it's fucking terrible. It's going into a tailing pond effectively is what you're doing.
Well, I think what I would do, my role would be providing dancing lights, kind of concentrate while we're swimming to make sure everybody can see, even if it gets cloudy or whatnot.
I'm not going to say anything to that.
I love the idea of the visual of the underwater dancing lights too.
And that's pretty much because I need the lights. I can't see in the dark.
Sure.
But it'll help, I don't know, maybe contrast some things, because I know if the water gets cloudy enough, you can't really see very far, but having lights further out might help with those that can see further in darkness.
Well, and I think that you, Dolga gave you the best instructions she could with respect to where this cavern entrance seems to be, but it's still going to involve a little bit of trial and error to try and figure out where the fuck this is. And I think it'll be survival, not just perception.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Algar is my moving buddy. I'm just going to tie myself to Algar.
you're
Also, Vortimer would know in real life when bows get wet, they lose a lot of their draw weight and aren't nearly as effective. Is that a thing in Pathfinder that we need to be worried about?
I don't think so, but
we can say that. I mean, the thing with Pathfinder, it is selectively like simulation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I love that narrative, the idea that that's what you kind of do is you would unstring the bow, and then maybe you could in the same sort of
wrap up the bow stave in an oilcloth or something. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I would definitely do that because I know better than to let my bow and my bowstring get wet.
Yeah. Well, and if for nothing else, I mean, this is all fucking rich fodder for the preparation montage that we're seeing.
Yes.
Right. And Paul Stanley's song is playing in the background. Okay, so what other preparations do you guys need to make?
Could I find like some underwater goggles? Just
I'm not sure that's a thing.
Well, I know it's not the real thing, but something similar because
I know that there's smoke goggles, which are supposed to help. Like that's an actual item in Pathfinder's smoke goggles.
My character has he doesn't want to actually breathe the water or get his eyes in the water. So
this will help. For just the cost of 1 silver piece, you can get a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah. Well,
is that done?
I'm definitely going to be drinking that before I go in.
Let's see here.
Bottle, but
put the bottles over your eyes.
Oh,
you know what? Hold up.
Yeah.
Give me 1 sec here. There's one.
Yeah, because I'm going to be holding my breath as long as I can without inhaling that water.
Could we do like a snorkel tube to try to get?
We're going.
No.
We're gonna have
getting
water breathing.
Breathing isn't the problem. The gunk is the problem.
Yeah, I just don't want to breathe in the gunk. That water goes in your lungs.
I don't know if that little game is. I'm not sure that will matter. I think.
Yeah, I know, but still, role-playing wise, it's like,
sure. Yeah.
I always figured water breathing essentially just kind of like gave you gills.
I know that's kind of
I don't think it says that, but maybe.
Hold on.
Also, I laugh hysterically because I have a random item generator and it'll generate a potion of lava breathing, and it specifies that it doesn't make you immune to lava.
Classic.
Like you can breathe lava, but you'll still burn to death.
And water breathing is just magic. There is a spell called aboleth lungs.
And
you grow aboleth lungs.
You can't swim in lava. Have you guys ever seen science shows about what happens if you dive into it?
I know.
A piece of bacon skittering across the top. That's basically what happens. You don't sink in it.
Well, it depends on the heat, but yeah.
It's a couple thousand degrees.
D&D lava. You swim in it though.
No. It's super dark.
Okay. Who do we want to go first? It seems like Vortimer or Gunther both have high survival.
Yeah, whoever has survival.
And dark vision.
Yeah.
Survival and dark vision we both got, I think.
This is, of course, the problem with the having a Pathfinder library with the runes of Aslant AP. They had a Underwater Adventures book that came out.
Ooh.
I've got it somewhere. I just can't find the fucking thing.
Classic.
Yeah, I've got it digitally in my collection.
I imagine it's in there. So we can say, I find you can have goggles, and then what I'll say is that will. Let's hear.
Underwater goggles. Here we go.
Oh, where are they?
On their aquatic adventures, they're 5 gold pieces.
Nice. Look at that. I knew it was in there. So perfect.
I'll buy a pair of those too.
I want one.
I'll just get a
Well, I feel
tighter
like 20
blind.
So here's the
25%
thing, guys.
discount?
I'm not 100% sure that they're going to be. That's a really.
They're going to be available.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
particular item, and this is a small town.
And it's also inland. We're not exactly.
Well, like the only water here is a
Yeah.
place that makes you fucking ill if you go
Yes.
swimming in it. So there's
Nobody-
probably not a lot of
nobody's
recreational swimming. But I think that like a 5 GP item is something that can be crafted in a day, though, isn't it?
Oh, it depends on your craft skill.
Right. No, but is
Crafting-
it?
But we've got lots of trained smiths and stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you got a
also-
bunch of people sitting around with very little to do. I think
Yeah.
Joram or one of his acolytes might be able to throw something like that together for you. So
Okay.
let's
And in terms of us making stuff, it depends on if we're using the Unchained rules, which are at least slightly kind to people trying to make stuff, or the raw Pathfinder rules, which is like, you want to make that? Good. Enjoy 2 years off from adventuring.
yeah. But I mean that I think that's their weird, 1 foot in the simulationist thing where they try and make it, but also like in defense of the game, heroic adventure's not about crafting.
Yeah.
It isn't, and I agree.
You're not
Right.
playing, RPGs to be like, awesome, now I'm going to sit in my wizard tower and, make
Yeah,
hybrids.
It's downtime. It's for
some people like the grind of an MMO.
Yeah, exactly. You got the grind of an MMO without the fancy graphics and sound. Boy, do we have a game for you. Okay, so what we're going to assume, like narratively, then that you guys can each buy one of those, and it'll be the people from Joram's place that will craft that for you. And remember, you get the 20% discount as well. So it only costs you 4.
Pieces. Yeah.
Can I get
4
like a
gold
50%?
pieces.
I only have one eye.
What's that?
I only got one eye. Can I get a 50%?
No.
I have no eyes. Can I get a discount?
Yeah, since we're getting
how much
those,
do they
Gunther will
weigh?
get us that too.
They don't have the listed weight, so they're just like glasses. So they,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Generally, if it's less than half a pound, they just put it as negligible,
Okay.
Okay.
which I have had characters take advantage of, carrying ridiculous amounts of negligible stuff.
so there's no mechanical reason I wanted them. It's just mostly for roleplay because I don't want to get this crap in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
same
no,
here.
good call.
No, I
Good
agree.
call.
I spent my 4 gold.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm just going to get a tighter blindfold so it doesn't get into my gunky sockets.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I imagine that will get infected.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything else you guys wish to do before we set forth into the Weeping Pond?
No.
I take my
Rations?
robe off.
Do we need food?
I've got rations.
Well, we can only stay
Um,
down there for so long, right? We have to come back.
Oh, she prefers we do.
Yeah, the spell will only last for
After
12
the day, I
hours.
think you mentioned.
Yeah.
12 hours. Oh,
Yeah.
that's even better than my
I
estimate.
guess we don't. Then I guess we don't. Well, but if we,
I was
if
trying to
we
figure out.
don't-
You're
if
like,
we also
is it
don't
6 or is it
return-
12? I'm like, what's half a day to you? Like, what do you mean?
Well, I just meant half of daylight.
Half a waking day?
Because, yeah, half of awake, 6 or 8.
Yeah. Sorry,
That seems
Pathfinder is extremely literal in terms of calculating timing and stuff like that. I just try and to avoid us always just talking in game stats for stuff because Pathfinder does have a lot of opportunities to do that.
Well, and I think
Yeah.
Vortimer might, because Vortimer doesn't distinguish between days and nights quite like everybody else since he doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
That he has a hard time with what people mean by timing since
Sure.
he's just kind of all over the place.
I mean, but he is aware of the concept of a day, though, right?
No, he is aware of it. I think
Yeah.
he knows what half a day means. I'm just thinking that in general he might have that sort of odd.
Yeah.
Another of his oddities might be with regard to how long he thinks things last and all of that.
Okay. So we now, I guess, cut back to our opening scene with you guys making your way down into kind of the water of the Weeping Pond, getting ready to set forth and find that underwater cave. What's going through everyone's mind right now?
The fact that probably a lot of people are seeing me in my underwear.
Yeah.
I like wear your standard wizard robe, and if that gets wet, I'm not going to be able to swim, so I have to take it off before we go in.
Someone could, I mean, like they could offer you clothes to wear if you're concerned about vanity at all.
I can't even see what people see in me, so like the Styx charisma of care is like, nah.
Knowing your character's backstory, wouldn't that reveal like a shit ton of scars on you too?
Most of her scarring is on her face and under her blindfold.
Right. Okay.
she may have some other stuff, and she also does have like a tail and other things that are generally under the robes. So there's a lot to see for sure.
Okay.
She's not an unattractive person. She's just, a tiefling.
Yeah. Okay. Algar, what about you? What's sort of going through his mind here?
Well, I'm stealing glances at this tail that I didn't even know was there. It's kind of impressive. I still can't think of anything and have no other questions and voice this in flashback humor.
Okay. Vortimer?
Vortimer, I think he's got his wrapped up bow stave, goggles on, ready to go.
Okay. Nice. Kyrus, what's going through your mind?
Well, considering I'm about to swim in some sludge and go down in the dark, I'm just gonna offer a silent prayer up to my goddess and just.
Does it occur to you that Parda would have gone through this before?
Yeah. She's headstrong and is not afraid of anything, while I can be.
Okay. And Gunthar, I mean, I guess this is the same way that Geralt went down and disappeared into. What's going through Gunther's mind?
Well, first and foremost, of course, business. He's, waterproofing everything, figuring out everything he needs to put into his waterproof sacks. He did acquire a pair of goggles as well, and he's just steeling himself for the journey down. But he does remember his promise to hold on to the precious item.
Sure.
So he will actually probably pass that over to the only other person that he knows that he could trust, which would probably be Val, I guess, that he knows in a passing way. And being that she's a female and probably sentimental about such things, she would probably.
It wouldn't be Ragnar?
No, he doesn't think Ragnar would. Ragnar would probably throw it in the corner exactly just like that. So
Okay.
So before I head down, I'm gonna just say one of the aphorisms for Sarenrae, that the dawn brings new light, and it's basically said during a litany against evil and despair, and then a new day brings new opportunity. So we would be the last going down, but we're going to try our best to bring hope back.
That is very appropriate. So as we wrap up the session with you guys walking down into the murky and discolored pond of the waters of the Weeping Pond, venturing into new areas, it seems as if Sarenrae may have been answering your prayers. Because guys, welcome to level 2.
Ooh!
Hey!
I offer
like
praise
that.
You guys, we can assume that you guys would have prepared, or like whatever the spells you would have got or whatever else, prep your character however is appropriate, update them on roll 20, and you guys will be ready to hit the ground, or water in this case, at level 2. So
better for it, Dave.
Cool. All right, so let's get out of here, and we'll do the make with the outro. Exit game. Stop sharing screens. Come here, you. Oh, come on. There we go. Stop sharing. Computer is running slow. There's the camera back on. And boom, there I am. Okay, so as always, for those listening at home, thanks so much for watching and joining us for session 5 of the Iron Gods. What dangers lurk beneath the Black Hill waiting for our heroes? Well, we'll have to find out in 2 weeks' time. Until then, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. Alternatively, if you can also reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings. I once again wanted to try and leave my voice message. Alternatively, your matter's urgent. You can contact. That's twice I've done it this week. Good Lord. Can you tell it's been a long week? If you can also reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, and you can shoot me an email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. You may also notice that there is a link in the description of the video to something called Heroes Save Villages, and this is the charity fundraising campaign that we are running on the channel. Last year we raised over $1,000 for the SOS Children's Villages International Charity. This year we're on our way to matching that total, so that's pretty good. If you enjoyed the session or you enjoy the content in the channel, I just ask that you consider clicking through and learning a little more about the Hero Save Villages campaign, the kind of rewards that we have on offer as well. And of course, you can just donate directly to SOS Children's Villages through the Hero Save Villages campaign. Any money that's donated goes completely to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it's eaten up by any middlemen. None of it goes to the channel. We don't run a Patreon on the channel or anything like that. If you do feel like throwing some money towards the channel, I'd ask that you consider throwing it in the direction of the good people at SOS Children's Villages International to help them help out some kids who live in very difficult circumstances. Last but not least, I want to thank my players. So guys, thank you so much for joining me this morning for yet another session of Iron Gods. What will we find underneath the Black Hill, and who will survive the experience? I am looking forward to finding out. So,
hopefully,
not all are based on today's rules.
That is some grade A stink eye there, Brendan. That was
not going to be Olgar based on these rules.
Awesome, cool. So until next time, I guess, guys, I will see you all in 2 weeks' time. And for those listening at home, thanks again for watching. And until next time, happy gaming.